hello, welcome to the Honest Wargamer. We're your hosts, the Sticky Bob Bandit, Nathan Prescott, James, the Undergarment Letdown Man, and Dan with a shave. Welcome, everyone, to the show. Thank you to Lugnuts Damad, for resubscribing as we started. We're your hosts. Welcome to the show. It's Monday, and it's our last show on the Monday show of 2020.
Ever? It's our last ever show.
No, it's not our last ever show. Our last ever show will be me and Nathan, riding into the sunset as we hunt Dan and James for their elven ways in the post-apocalyptic wasteland that is 2021.
Excellent. That's what I want to hear.
Teach you to fucking shave your beard off.
Hello, Adam Jackson. Welcome to the show. Scott B, what up? So, hello to everyone in the Twitch chat. MJ Pegasus. Nathan, it looks like you are calling us in from... Are you in country? Are you, in the Gulf War in 1990? Because that's where you look like you are.
Yeah.
Is this a radio
I've gone
call?
undercover.
What are you doing undercover?
For gardening.
It's a throwback. That's what the whole show's going to be about. It's a throwback. Today's show is brought to you by everyone on the Patreon. Thank you very much. And everyone who listens to the podcast, please stay hydrated. We're joined, obviously, by these three rogues that we're going to say hello to. And the point of today's show is we're going to be looking back at everything that's happened in 2020 and having a chat about it. If any of you in the chat would like to bring anything up, feel free. Dan, how are you? And why do you look like a rapist?
Good. Coming in hot. Love that. Well, no, it was time for a change. I grew the beard at the start of the Coco Vovo. Felt like it was time to MJ Pegasus. It was a bit of a strong start.
I'm feeling spicy today. I'm feeling very spicy today, so...
It was time for a change, and I also realised that The Honest Wargamer, we are the people's show. And at this point in time, we were very poorly representing those without or who cannot grow a beard. And so I just thought, in the interest of accessibility, and think about all those wonderful undead players, no beards on a skeleton. And so I thought that I should represent. So for those of you who have no beard, who need a beard, or who are in the process
should grow a beard.
of
Is that what we're saying? We're saying that you're supporting those that we know should grow a beard but haven't. Is that what you just said?
I'm beardless for the beardless.
Did Dan shave his beard just to beard shame people?
I shaved it so that I could give people a hard time. Yeah.
Good.
And for what it's worth, lovely to see you in the chat again, Lugnuts Damad. It's been far too long. And of course, Lugnuts was regularly in the chat when I didn't have a beard, and then has disappeared the entire time I had a beard, and has returned the day that I shave it off. So it's obviously complete. That circle of life there. If I grow it again, we'll lose him. But yes, I'm very sorry.
Your beard.
That's it. I shaved it off, and now it's sentient. That's why I had to shave it off.
Like that dwarf you made, sentient beard.
Yeah, it was a bit of a Dr. Octopus situation. My beard was getting out of control, just like his tentacles, so I had to remove it, just for my own safety. And yes, thank you, chat. More elf. He's a liberator. Thank you. I literally I finished and I was like, oh man, I could feel my face again. I had a shower and the water was running down and I could feel it on my cheeks. I was like, this is remarkable. I laid down on my pillow. I was like, oh, I could feel things. And then I snapped awake in terror in the middle of the night. And I was like, holy shit, the chat. Because I knew that obviously I was going to be punished today. Thank you.
Just you to try and feel things.
I know, that's it. I should be heartily palaced up in an ice castle, just like Elsa.
Yeah, I haven't felt anything since March, maybe. Not a single feeling.
I've never felt anything since I've had a beard from the age of 3.
Well, I also figured that if one of us was gonna have to, sacrifice their beard for the good of the show, Rob, obviously yours is a classic. I James has pretty much just an unbroken like
Yeah, it just
covering
keeps
of
going.
fur from the top of his head down to his toes, and I don't think that there are scissors on the planet powerful enough to remove Nathan's beard. So it had to be me by process of elimination.
Yeah, I think Nathan went shaved by just rubbing his face along a sander, and the sander broke. So
Just
it
a
did
belt
nothing.
sander.
Yeah.
The belt sander grew a beard.
Well, Dan, I also need to ask you how your Christmas was. How was your Christmas?
Yeah, it was good. It was quite boozy, unsurprisingly, and I'm excited. So because of some delays in shipping and whatnot, not all the presents made it on time. However, there's a good little bit of hobby stuff in there that I'm very, very keen to get my little mitts on. So I'm excited. It'll be great. And I just noticed that my name in the on the screen is Liberator Dan, and that hurts
Someone
me.
asked in the chat and asked for it. I'll change any name at this point. I am a slave to the chat. Like me and the chat over Christmas, we bonded so much. They're like, Rob, do 4 Vinces. I'm like, no problem. Yeah,
Done.
like that's it.
Done.
Yeah. Dan, no, James,
Hang
how
on,
you been?
before we move off Dan.
Oh yeah.
God.
Just because he said his Christmas was boozy and he's got hobby coming, is that because the post got delayed, or is that because Boozy Dan at Christmas brought himself Christmas presents?
I know what you want it to be, but the answer is actually that probably a boozy postal worker somewhere lost my presents.
Okay, that's fine.
But I definitely I did another accidental random drunken Amazon order again as well.
Do we know what's coming?
This time I did take a cheeky little peek. A lot of it's garbage, but the standout is one of those Primaris, large scale action figures.
Oh my God.
Yeah, who knows?
That's
Who
quite an
knows?
expensive joke purchase, right?
No, this is the thing that blew my mind. $24 Canadian, cheaper than any individual Primaris purchase.
That's not legitimate, is it?
No, it's straight up. It's from McFarlane Toys, like from the actual thing. I was like, wait, so a Primaris Marine that's like 8 times the size of regular Primaris Marines is half the price.
Just play him as a Warlord Titan.
Yeah, true. Feel like they really put some effort into this. So that was me. That was me.
Oh, lovely. Can I just say thanks to the real Mr. Winters for gifting a gift subscription to the TJG. So welcome to you. Big love. I hope you're all well. James, you've been on the show recently. I know how your Christmas was, but you okay? What's going on in Jamesland? Catch us up.
Yeah, all good. Not a huge amount going on, I don't think. I can't think. I imagine like most of the Monday people have seen me over Christmas now.
Mm-hmm.
Like show chat people. No, pretty good. Not. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because there's not a lot going on in the world. I am painting a bell finally. Finally let myself paint a bell. Painted
for your Skaven.
Yeah, I've painted like 1 million clan rats or 80, either or. So I thought I'd paint myself a bell as my little treat. I think I haven't really done. I honestly haven't done a lot. I had a nice Christmas.
You don't have to have done a lot. Nathan, how do you feel about James getting into Skaven? And also, Merry Christmas. How are you?
Merry Christmas. I'm all right. Thank you for asking. How do I feel about James getting into Skaven?
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. More rats to kill is fine as far as I'm concerned.
Good.
Cool. Bring them. Paint things for us to kill.
How was your Christmas?
Christmas was all right. Very quiet. Internet was very poor where I was, so went to a very remote part of the countryside, and just hunkered down, ate food and drank drink.
Well, I'm glad to see it's improved. It looks top notch. It looks like
and then I came here and did the gardening and stole their internet office.
It looks like you're streaming from 1993, and I love it. It's the best. Also, just for everyone to be aware, obviously we won't be on the show. Actually, no. Next Monday is going to be the 3rd, I think. Is that right? I think so, 3rd or 4th. So just everyone aware, New Year's Eve, Next day, Nathan's birthday, the 1st. So make sure you tweet him. Send him messages to the 1st of January. Just send
Happy
him
birthday for next week, Nate.
Yeah, happy
Don't
birthday,
do it
Nathan.
now. We've all got to just tweet him. We could tweet him. We could all tweet him every 25 minutes.
Yeah, until it's his birthday. Yeah,
it's his birthday week, isn't it? Happy birthday week.
Yeah, happy birthday week. And as MJ Pegasus says, feel free to send him unsolicited git pics into his
I'll
inbox.
take those and nothing else, and you can all fuck off.
All right, well, we'll jump on with the news.
He must be grumpy. He didn't get what he wanted.
I did get this for Christmas.
Oh, what'd you get?
Oh,
big boy.
Fucking Mega Gargant. Which one did you decide to build?
Look at his face. It's a war stomper.
He's grumpy.
Why did you decide to go for the War Stomper?
Because he's got a big club and a horny thing on his back.
All right, perfect. Any actual gaming reason, or just that's the one you like the look of the most?
That's the one I like the look of the most.
Fair, good, just good a reason as any, really.
Yeah, let's. That's what we'll do. We're gonna set up a Twitch fund over the next few days to send Nathan a case of Hobgoblin beer. So do look out for that. I'll put the
I've
link
got
down
one.
later. Oh,
Oh,
yes. Oh, good. Exciting. You got a Mega Gargant. So you've gone for the War Stomper. All right, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, good news. Good news. Are you painting them up now? Is that where you are?
No, I'm still painting zombies.
Oh, okay. All right.
Zombies?
Yeah.
He's doing zombie side, James.
Zombies.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. I forgot that conversation. I thought you were playing Death.
Yeah, I am. I'm killing death in a zombie sideboard.
That's fine.
The girl with a big sword.
There is.
And a nun who's crazy. She's got bloodlust or something. Fucking great.
More Tribe. Welcome to the show. He says, "You guys, this is my first time ever not being a podcast bro and not a Hydro homie. Welcome, More Tribe. A big shout out to all our Hydro homies. Feel free to leave us terrible thoughts in the chat. We'll read them all out. Like a terrible one from Wap 92 says, Nathan, you're a queen and therefore you get a birthday month, which I agree with.
yeah. I think I saw earlier in the chat, Lugnuts, you said you had 6 Mega Gargants. That's
That's not even a list, is it? Like,
but what it is flexibility. It's options.
That's what you want.
That's why I've got more than one pair of socks. It's in case I want to change it up, you know.
I literally have the same pair of socks 40 times. Same brand, everything. Just the same ones. Pringles black socks from Amazon. Can't fuck about. Bezos has sorted me right out. You got some kids in China building them, and now my feet are really happy. Well done, Bezos. Right, so big news.
Just need some Crocs to go with those socks.
Yep.
Nathan, you're a rat bastard. You know I'd never wear a pair of Crocs in my life.
maybe we should fund you a pair of Crocs. Like, if the stream funded you a pair of Crocs,
I'd set them
would
on
you
fire
wear
like
them
that.
because
No,
you
I'd set
feel
them on
bad?
fire like that dark elf guy
Are
with
you
the army.
sure? I think you might feel bad.
Oh my gosh, I haven't watched that video in so long, and I really want to.
It's really good. You should watch it. Thanks to James Bennett over on YouTube. He's just donated 30 quid to the show. This is for Nathan's birthday Hobgoblin and for Dan's beard funeral procession. R.I.P. Love you guys. James Bennett, thank you so
I'll
much.
drink to
Merry
that.
Christmas to you. Could you 3D? I don't want to 3D print a pair of sandals. Listen, I need to get to the news because we're fucking about too much. And there's some actual content.
That doesn't sound like us at all.
I know. There's actual content before the fucking around later. Now, the most famous Bretonian player that I've known in Age of Sigmar is a man called James. He sits beneath me, famous for blowing a trumpet and screaming for the lady. One of the reasons I think James was into Bretonia was because it meant he only had to read one book over a 10-year period, which is really going to upset him that he has to learn more about them now. But James...
Learn?
Yeah, the Old World have announced, they've put out a thing today, that they've been mapping out Bretonia in the Old World.
See.
Come on, you got to be excited about that. Twitch chat, what do you think?
Do you want the honest answer?
It's literally
No,
the name of
just
the
the honest
I was
war
about to
gamer
say, yeah.
is a misnomer.
I literally opened it, went, well, that's cool. Looked at Luen's little thing, was like, it's got a fucking dragon. Should have had a griffin. Closed it. And
So,
my problem has to be that I think like the old world was cool, the narrative was cool. Britannia, like as a person, like I like castles. Like I grew up going to castles with my dad. We used to go to medieval things like castles, like the things when they fire a trebuchet, like
Sit
all
down for
that's
this.
cool.
Yeah.
Britannia, like are all of those things. They remind me of being like a kid and all the things I was into. And that's why I like them.
All those serfs you had.
Yeah. The old world as a game was great years ago. Age of Sigmar's just better. Like I don't want to pivot.
I'm with you.
Can I-
I'm with you.
can
Go
I-
on, Dan. Feel free.
just one of my favorite. This is just James's comments there, striking me like one of my favorite subreddits, and it's called "Choosing Beggars."
Mhm.
And what I think is we have a situation where someone who is a Britannia fan, who is often banging on about horses and peasants and ladies and something like that, he's been given a crumb. He's been thrown a crumb, and he doesn't like it. He wants a better crumb. He wants a different crumb. What a choosy little beggar he is.
Wow. Nathan, have you got any thoughts on the return of Britannia and the old world game in total?
Well, we'll see it when we see it. It's still years away, isn't it? So
Yeah, like 5 years, I think, right?
yeah, I can't think that far ahead. So fuck it.
That's super fair.
So there's no thoughts. It's blank.
Oh, fantastic
Thanks.
guy. Well, thanks for subscribing. So I think, Nathan, I think one of the things that impresses me is that they haven't actually gone back to the old world. Like, they've gone back to the older world, as I think someone was saying inside the chat, where they've gone back to an earlier time in the timeline of the old world. And then they're going to tell the progressive stories of lots of those worlds through there, which is genuinely interesting if you care about that stuff. Because I'm into Age of Sigmar, though, I truly don't give a shit. So, like, I'm at this oh, that's kind of quite neat. If you're into that, that'd be fun. You get to see the story emerge. It'd be like the Horus Heresy. That'd be super fun. On the other hand, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to learn it. Like, fuck them. Do you know what I mean?
But,
like,
so have you, like, and I know, obviously, probably not Nathan, but I know Dan definitely has. And I imagine you have played Total Warhammer 2 or Total
I have.
Warhammer.
I have.
Like, Total Warhammer. Like, it's cool. And I think, like, you go back to it and you're like, oh, this is cool. Like, it's a world I know and there's stories I know and characters I know. And then, like, a few times, one of my mates who hasn't played Warhammer since we were a kid was like, oh, it's really got me into it. I'm going to play. Like, oh, I might get myself a Carl Franz. I'm like, no, he's dead. It's like, oh, well, what did he die? I'm like, it's a good story. Go read it. And it's like, well, we could play it still. I'm like, no, I'm not playing that. Like, I don't want to read 400 pages of rules. I don't want to read 8 pages on pivoting. Like, at the time it was good. It's gone. Move on. I'm on rounds now.
Yeah,
I think
I'm on rounds too.
I actually went back because I was when I moved over to Canada, I found my old 8th edition rulebook, and I played the hell out of Warhammer Fantasy. I loved it, and I went back and I read through that rulebook, and I was like, oh my god, this was so complicated to play a game. Like, I remember tournaments were like 3 to 3.5 hour rounds, and you spent the majority of that arguing over the finer points of the rule book. And it's something that I rarely find you have to do in Age of Sigmar now. And so, like, it's the thing I realized. I was like, you spent so long in a game talking about the specifics of the rules and how they interacted with each other. Now you spend time, yes, you still have those discussions, but it's about the game. It's very rarely about the rules. It is still occasionally. Absolutely, it is still occasionally. But I just think that for me, the game has, or like what I want from War Dollies has grown significantly from what that game was. And it just seems odd to me to be bringing it out this late in the piece.
It's interesting because
It's
I haven't
also- it's
even...
al- Go on, James, sorry.
I was just going to say it's interesting because I don't think we've ever probably actually discussed it. But Darker Design in chat said we don't even know what the game is going to be, and I think, like, do you know what? If they make people wait 5 years, bang on about it being on squares, and re-release all the old world, and then make a completely different game,
It's going to be epic sized. We already know that, right? Don't we?
can't wait for people to burn models.
We already know it's epic sized or something like that. Like, it's not 28 mil. It's like something else. someone else.
Who knows?
And
Okay.
Chump Hammer just triggered me a little bit with a 6 dice purple sun down a dwarven flank. Still, like, this is not the purple sun as we know it today. This is the one that just deleted everything. And yeah, it was horrifying. When someone would be like,
Sounds
cool,
a
turn
great
one.
day.
Turn one, I just removed half of your army. And you're like, oh. And then they're like, cool, turn two. Because you need to wheel to face me and then you can't shoot, you couldn't kill the spellcaster. So now the spellcaster casts Purple Sun along your line once again. And you're like, ha.
Do you remember when Magic was like the winning part of a game?
Yeah.
Well, so I just think of it like an ex. Yeah, whether or not you left them or they left you, it's in the past. Don't go back. Yeah, move on with your life. Yeah, like there's so many options out there in the world. Just live your better life, ultimately. But it's cool. It's nice seeing it. The only reason I have any attachment to it at all now is because I saw it and I was like, oh, I might play Total War. I didn't think, yeah, I'll buy loads more minis in that game that I won't play. Nope, not for me. But it's cool for the people that like it. Listen, if you liked it and it's going to reignite your passion to play war games, that's amazing. Yeah, that's so good. I'm so happy for those people. I'm so happy for everyone that loves it. Like, it's great news for them. It's super fun. And also, maybe they'll explore the whole world properly, like they never truly did. You know, maybe they'll do, all of the different regions, all of the different races, all the different, tribes and nations and all that other stuff. And they'll do something super fun. So that'll be cool. That'll be cool for those people.
I just wanted to quickly, I was just looking in the chat, and Tomb King Tristan and actually a couple of others have reminded me that I've gotten lazy with something, and that's that we don't celebrate your length of time being here, like as a subscriber, by months. We celebrate it by child gestation periods, as they are commonly known as a hobby baby. So if you've been with us for 18 months, we have 2 hobby babies. If you've been with us for 10, we've had 1 hobby baby. We've got another one that I'm currently going to birth from my loins. So just I'm very sorry that I let that slip. Lugnuts, 17 months. There we go. Very soon we're about to have our second hobby baby. I hope this one has less sprue bits poking me on the way out, and more rounded tank hulls.
I can fuck with that. So subscriptions based on child length. Humans
basically,
or elephants?
Hobby babies. It's a 9-month gestation period for a hobby baby.
Okay.
And I'm very sorry to everyone that I let down by not appreciating our children together, and just ignoring them in my womb for this long. But I hope
Dan's got a child somewhere he's forgotten about, and
I have several. Caleb Kane says all that will. Go on, Dan. Sorry.
I was just going to say, have I forgotten about it if I never knew it existed? It's like if a tree falls in the wood.
Right, so Caleb Kane says, all I would care about is if I can convert models to AOS. Other than that, I don't look forward to taking up the release schedule. Fair enough. Ultimately, it is what it is. Hopefully it makes people happy for the people that want it. It will be fun seeing it all re-explored and re-energized, but, whatever.
It's going to be Forge World, isn't it? So
yeah.
It's not going to interrupt with the Age of Sigmar schedule, because they don't fucking release anything for Age of Sigmar anyway.
You're right, Nathan. Especially
Nathan,
the winter FAQ.
Giant.
Where's the winter FAQ? That's the real question. Huh?
In the bin. I can tell you what happened. Croak went down 20 points. Some other stuff went down 4 points. That was it. There's a Broken Realms coming out soon. That'll sort it all.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, it's just them. The Horus Heresy is coming to a conclusion, so they obviously need something else to do from Forge World. So there we go. We got the.
What do you mean coming to a conclusion? Surely they can just spin some more shit. Actually, the Siege of Terror went for 18 more books. I love how it's the Siege of Terror begins, and then I just feel like it's a bunch of old geriatrics in a nursing home with their walkers slowly making their way across the room to the other side, because every single time there's another book, there's another something that gets in the way, and it's just are we going Yes, no, come on, let's we're going to take out the pudding master. Come on, let's go get him. And then everyone's just wandering along. They're like, "How are you going back there, Ethel?" "Oh no, I'm still coming. I'll be there." "Oh, good, okay." Like it's just been old people slowly crossing a room for the last 18 years, and I'm sick of it.
We're nearly at the end, though, Dan. We're nearly at
Oh
the
my
end.
gosh.
What's
And then
that
we can
giant
read about the
Tyranid
old
model
world. Huh?
that Forge World sell? What's that giant Forge World model
The
that like
Hierophant?
needs its? Yeah, that's in the way every day. I think that should be it. That should be in every Horus Heresy book now, just to sell more, because I've never seen one.
Well, look. Either way, like everyone in the chat has said, we still don't know if the game is even going to be like applicable Age of Sigmar size. Let's hope it is, because if it is, shit tons of new models for us to use, convert, have fun with, which is great. More options, big thumbs from me. Also, ultimately, like depending on like what the book quality is like I wouldn't mind some like other fantasy stuff to get my teeth into, have a read of. That could be quite funky. So we'll see. But anyway, there's that to happen.
There's
Right,
5 years.
So the year in review, 2020.
Haven't
What
we
a
just done
year.
that?
What a year. All sorts has happened. And we're going to go through it for everyone in the chat, if you guys are okay with that. Lots happened. We're going to break it down into events that happened, external events, so real life stuff, some battle tomes that came out, and then some lessons learned from 2020 and our hopes for 2021, which I think is one. There's an interesting stat for us to bring up first. Nathan, tell us about your event win percentage.
Oh, I mentioned that so that we didn't have to talk about it.
Well, too late.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned it, so now
How
we
many
know.
events have you been to?
A couple.
And then how many have you won?
A couple.
All of them. Nathan's won every event he's been to this year.
100%.
100% win rate. That's what he's done.
Does that mean that Nathan's in the Masters?
Should be.
Nathan,
Should
you're
be.
the Masters.
Chess masters, yeah.
Well done, Nathan. So that's a good result overall. So should we
I
start-
only won 2 of the games in the first one out of 5. So there you go.
You still won the whole thing, Nathan. Yeah, Nathan's Gambit. I would watch the shit out of the Nathan's Gambit as opposed to the Queen's Gambit, the Grot's Gambit.
The Grot Gambit, yes.
Scragrot's Gambit.
As you can see, I'll move this Grot 6 inches.
This now means you're -1 to hit.
Yeah.
A gambit. Gambit means you sacrifice a piece, so yeah, you could sacrifice the occasional grot for
the
some
netters.
advantage.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
netters.
You've got plenty more to bring back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. So should we kick it off with events? Nathan, I actually think you were at the first event out of all of us this year because Brotherhood happened before CanCon and LVO.
Cool. Yeah.
Do you want to tell us about being at Brotherhood this year?
Yeah, that was great fun. Very popular event attended by quite a few people. I don't know how many, but there were loads. Lots of alcohol was consumed. Lots of dice were rolled, and it was a team event. I want to say there was 6 players in each team. I don't know. I was very under weather, especially the first day.
Wait, you were under the weather day 1?
Yeah. The first game. I feel sorry for the first game, the guy that I played against, because I don't think I was there most of that game.
So in the chat, Owen Jackson in the chat from the
yeah, he was the last game I played.
He said one of my favourite games of the year versus Nathan.
Yeah, that was a great game. I went into that. I was playing Nagash. I'd taken a Gets list, which did rely quite a bit on magic. So I went into that thinking, I'm fucked here because I'm going to get no magic off. I didn't get any magic off, but the Gets nearly fucking stabbed themselves a load of shit. So it was a bit closer than I thought it was going to be. But then, Nagash powered through him and his Mortark. What are those fucking OBR dudes? Them guys. Yeah.
Nathan, what were you playing against? Nagash, you're playing against OCR Bone Reapers. Is this what you're telling us?
Yeah, with Nagash. Well, ask Dudai. He's in the chat. Owen.
Owen,
Yeah.
your power of description is flawless at this stage. Oh, I don't remember the day one, and then I played some other fellow who had the Gash and Mortarks. Do you mean? No, OCRks, yeah. Brill,
Them
okay. Them fellas.
No more insight, actually.
Did you win that game?
No. Like I said, I lost most of the games.
But you won the event.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
That's all that matters.
That's how kids do it.
As Dom taught us in the Fast and Furious franchise, doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. It's about who wins, and you got it.
And it's all about family, baby.
Did we just
all
put a
about
Fast
family.
and Furious quote in?
You absolutely better believe I just snuck a
my
Fast and Furious quote into
God.
this show.
That's the third Fast and Furious reference in 2 weeks on this Wargamer show.
There we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good job, family.
Well done, team. Yeah, well, it's all about family, Dan. I can't wait for Fast and Furious 14, the gang play Warhammer. It's going to be wild.
On the back of a speeding car.
Yeah, thanks, Bomb Squig, for subscribing. So, Brotherhood, big team event here in the UK, been rescheduled for next year. Hopefully, Nathan returns with the reigning champions. Nathan, do you remember who was on your team?
Yeah. Some Bruce guys, some more Bruce guys. So it was the My Hill brothers.
Yeah.
That Darren Watson fella.
Nice guy.
Yeah. That Dan Bradshaw guy.
Yeah, nice fella.
The master that's been reigning master for thousands of years now. And that Luke Morton chap.
Oh, successful guy.
Yeah, quite a dickhead, but yeah.
Well,
he was there.
He's now officially a Games Workshop sports an article writer. Tells us how to write.
He's a great guy. He's a funny. I don't know about his explaining how his list works, but yeah, he's good. He's a fun team fella. Team member. Fucking hell, Hobgoblin.
How many have you had?
I was on a speed awareness course earlier, so.
Were you actually?
No. Yeah. So not as many as I could have had.
Oh, that's the highlight of my day, that line. Let's end the show there because it's not going to get topped. Just casual drop that in.
I was on a speed awareness course and now I'm pissed on Hobgoblin. It's flawless. Welcome to 2020.
Yeah.
No, it was a very interesting course, but it just means I've not drunk as many Hobgoblins as I could have. That's all.
Okay. All right, that's fair. So while Nathan was smashing it up at Brotherhood, I was flying over to CanCon. And Dan, you were traveling your little cute ass over to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I got given a very firm like checking out by security as well. I'd
check you out.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. But yeah, it's interesting, like coming into Canada or Australia or anything, like obviously you go through customs anywhere and it's a serious affair, they check it out, but they usually seem to subscribe to, logic. Whereas it was interesting going I was flying into Vegas and the guy's like, what's your purpose of being here? And logically I was like, you know what, if I'm just, do I say I'm going for a convention or something like that? And in the end, I was like, I am for the casinos and to party. And he was like looked at me really carefully and then was like, yeah, good. And I was like, oh, thank God I said that, because I had some other people who told me that heading on the way through immigration, don't tell them about Warhammer, don't tell them about gaming, don't tell them about anything because they think it's suspect. Just tell them as you go through, as a foreigner, flying through Canada or whatnot. And I'll remember this conversation till the day I die. I flew in and I passed him my passport and my little thing that lets me get into the country. And he was like, where are you from? And I was like, where did I fly from, or where am I a citizen of? And he was like, don't get smart with me, sir. And I was like,
just answer the question.
Yeah, I was like, well, I wasn't trying to be smart. And then I said to him, I was like, I'm an Australian, but I'm living in Canada and I flew from Vancouver. And he was like looked at me and he was like, there, was that so hard? And I'm like, I don't even know which of those two answers you wanted. Like, I don't know what part of the information I gave you satisfied your bloodlust. And so it's really interesting. Like, going through, it was the first time I had a really intense border crossing. And I was like, I'm like just carrying a bag of war dollies. So it's always fun. And MJ Pegasus, they detained me just long enough to get all of the OBR pikemen out of my rectal cavity.
Right, well, so thanks to Get to the Chopper for subscribing again. You're an angel. So I didn't find that with American Customs when you went over there. Like, I was just like, here for Warhammer, what are you saying? And they were like, what's that? I was like, little miniatures? Because, like, they have conventions where people are, like, all meeting up to, like, get their, like, cute body pillows and, like, whatever else is going on. Like, it's...
How would you know, Rob?
I've been. Like,
Cool,
fucking,
just checking.
look at me. I look like someone who has a body pillow. And I am someone with a body
I
pillow.
think maybe we should sell body pillows of you.
Honest Wargamer body pillows. Nathan
Maybe we
Prescott,
should sell one
Honest
of
Wargamer.
each of us.
No, yes.
And see which
Waifus?
sells the most.
Correct. Yeah. One of each one of the show hosts is a body pillow.
This is
See
a
which one sells the
recipe for
most.
disaster.
It will definitely be Nathan Prescott. Yeah, but we still need the undergarments. That's the key part, Dan. So, James, sorry.
I know. Without those, it's nothing.
I mean, it's Christmas, so I can't do anything at the minute, so I'm blaming that now.
Right, so, yeah, but LVO, Dan, have you got a roundup of LVO?
Like, it was a great fun tournament. Awesome. I think if the next time I would go, I'd give myself another day, because one of the things that was amazing was balancing, like, as someone who's never been to Vegas before, just the enormity of the city and everything there is to do there, with the war dollies and everyone as well. Like, I could have spent another week and had an awesome time. The people were great. The event was great. I had an awesome time. Congrats to Chump Hammer in the chat for taking out best overall.
Well done.
It's solid effort there with Daughters of Cain, and I believe it was a double wagon list. No Marathi. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chump Hammer. But yeah, it was an amazing event, and it was my first time going to a 3-day event where it's like the last 2 games on the third day, only the top 10 play.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awesome. I really loved it, because it meant that third day I hadn't made it into the top 10, so I could just watch all these awesome games of Warhammer, grab a drink, walk around, and it was awesome. I dug it so hard, it made me really happy. I had an awesome time.
What army did you play?
I played Dispossessed. No. Yes? No. Yes, I did. I played Dispossessed.
So you played Dispossessed, didn't
it was
make the top 10,
It was the last time playing Dispossessed,
and
because
became an elf player.
That's not how it happened.
That's what I'm hearing.
What happened was I was going into the event, and I was like, this is probably the last event where Dispossessed have an allegiance to themselves before they have to be cities of Sigmar. So I was like, this is my last chance to take them. The changes and the updates to the War Scrolls really nerfed the list, but I'm still going to take them to commit and give them their last day in the sun. That's how it happened. It was not about betraying the cause. It was about giving Lassie one last lap around the block before she had a bullet put in her skull.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is now that...
LVO. Yeah.
So what you're saying is all dwarves need to be put down. Dispossessed.
Yeah.
All dispossessed need to be put down.
No, James, no. That's not okay to say.
You just said it.
I'm going to start defending my dwarven brothers as soon as you start that. Watch your shit. Bottom row. Yeah. Right, okay. Well, I'm glad you... I'm super glad that you had a great time, Dan. But while you were over at LVO, I was over at CanCon 2020. A little bit concerned because the whole place, to bring some real life into it, the whole of Australia was on fire. All of it was on fire. Loads of it. They were like, all the bats are dead. And I was like, oh shit. And then they were like, a third of the horses are dead now. And I was like, holy fucking hell. Anyway, so I landed. My favourite thing about my trip to Australia, not my favourite thing, but my favourite thing about the trip to Australia was I went on my own this time, which was a bit sad. I didn't get Nathan with me, but the very first phone call I had, literally my phone turned on in the airport, and immediately I'm on the phone to Nathan Prescott. And I was like, hello? He was like, fucking let me tell you about Brotherhood, Rob. I was like, tell me. And I just stayed there for an hour and a half on the phone. First thing I did.
Welcome to a new country. Let's talk about the old world.
Yeah, exactly.
And by that, I mean England.
But then I was with the wonderful Nick Hohen. He put me up for a couple of days. What an absolute babe. Then Danny Plays / Danny Paints. We played some Warhammer, me, Sam Morgan, at Nick's house. We eventually, that was in Adelaide, we hung out, we drove, us three. Then we picked up Randy and Joe Pagano from the airport. We had a hilarious time. I found out about Randy being a cheese scientist, which was amazing. And I found all about cheese science. Joe got really drunk, then sleepy the whole way through. It was brilliant. We drove...
I'm pretty sure they're his only two settings. Like, I think he's either getting drunk or is sleepy. Bless his cotton socks.
Yeah, exactly. And then we drove for fucking a billion hours along what looked like the same road for like 9 hours. Finally found a McDonald's, which was great. And then we actually got to Canberra pretty late. It was.
Can we roll back 1 second?
Yeah.
So you were in Australia.
Yes, sir.
You went to McDonald's.
Yeah, after 9 hours.
You're a vegetarian.
I did.
What's the veggie option like?
What's the veggie option in McDonald's?
Yeah,
fucking great, mate. Chips. Yeah. I think we got there. Did we get there at breakfast? I think they do muffins all day. I don't remember what I had. I can't remember, but I loved it.
I was just curious because it's always different, isn't it?
Yeah, but honestly, because we were driving for like hours with nothing, and we were listening to some great tunes in the car. Oh, that was when a Budtastic guy, what a legend, sent us an audio clip of an intro that he'd done, like an American-style sports intro, which we then later used as promo for the Joe Pagano versus Randy fight on the very first stream game where he brought his Tomb Kings. We played music. Anyway, we got to Canberra. We saw all the lads, which was great. Saw Clinto. Saw all the guys from New Zealand. We hung out. Everyone was having a drink. We went for a barbecue. Did we go for a barbecue? Fuck knows. I did the only thing I ever want to do when I go to Australia now, which is I went and hung out with the guys from the Failed Charge. Yeah, which was great. Yeah, saw Dennis. Yeah, I saw
dangerous
dangerous
guys and girls in that crew.
Only legends, start to finish, which was great. So saw them, we hung out, loved it, and then we streamed for the whole weekend. I had some like massive technical foo-bars, which was really upsetting for me. But I got to do commentary with Vince. Dan Shorts helped, which was great. We had Gemma on the commentary team as well, Nick Hohen, and they were all just being brilliant. Great event. It ended up being taken out by Jimmy the Hand with his Zinch list as well. So Australia's biggest event, not even owned by the Aussies. New Zealand actually have the ticket. Rough. With OCR and Fire players coming in second and third. But it was a good time. Oh, one of my favourite bits of me and Clinto went and picked up every single board from Travis's house in this trailer, which Clint won't mind me saying he did not prep well for the trip. Yeah, some dangerous road tripping on the way back, which was fun. But yeah, generally, great time. It was awesome. I was knackered after.
I'd say...
Go on.
I'd say CanCon is like, it's one of the Grand Slams. Like if you were, going around like tennis and going, what are the biggest events in the world? Like CanCon is one of the Grand Slams. You've just got to, you have to try and do it. And I'd say it should be on everyone's bucket list because it's a bit, for me, it's very different to a lot of events I've been to because it's in Canberra. For those who aren't aware, Canberra is our nation's capital, but by far not our largest city. You're actually a little bit out in the sticks. Like it's still a city. It's got all the bits and pieces, but it's not big. It's not like being in Sydney or Melbourne or something. So there's just this huge community of hundreds of War Dolly players that descend for this big tournament. And all you do, like you play War Dollies and then outside of it, everyone's going to barbecues. They're all doing things together. There's like games of Street Hammer or it's a community.
There's a very okay strip club close by, apparently.
Apparently.
I didn't go. I was working. But there were hearts taken. Love was fallen in and out of during that exciting Saturday. There are barbecues. There's all sorts. Yeah, but it's an incredible community, and what's nice is it's different communities from all over. So you've got the Sydney boys, you've got the Adelaide boys, then you've got the guys travelling from Queensland. Or they
New
weren't
Zealand.
quite as, yeah, New Zealand. There was a massive contingent from New Zealand who flew over, because New Zealand, it's kind of like New Zealand's LVO, I guess, in some ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, an amazing event.
There's no love lost between our two nations, so any chance to get one over on them, Australians will take, and they will take on us. There's definitely been events where Australians were like put together a group to fly over to compete, the idea being to take the win away from them. And it's devastating that they just kind of came in and sniped out the top award in Australian honours for the year.
Yeah,
In Nerd World, though, hasn't New Zealand always now got one up on Australia, whatever? Because you're like, oh, we won every event this year. New Zealand go, Lord of the Rings was here. And that's it, isn't it? Like you just like, we've got Hobbiton, and then they leave.
Yeah, but Australia's got Mad Max, so it's 1-1.
Witness me.
We have the Fury Road.
Yeah.
What do you want? Can you imagine Frodo versus Furiosa's truck? Just he's not even a speed bump. They don't even notice that they've hit something. He explodes like a plastic bag full of meat.
Right, yeah. So it was a grand old time. I had a great adventure. Very lucky. I then went with Randy and Joe. I think we went. Did we go to Adelaide? I can't fucking remember. We went somewhere after to some city. We had a great. I think it was Adelaide. Yeah. We stayed in a hotel. We had a swim. Great time. Great adventure. Friends were made. Love was created. Honestly. Couldn't ask for greater people. Danny Plays, hilarious individual. Danny Plays is like a sexual energy. That's how I'm going to describe him. Danny paints online. I think he ended up winning. Did he win Coolest Army? Fuck knows. Painted an army in a barrel. Yeah, the man exudes sexuality in a way that, like Dayton, basically, but at the same time paints all the time. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. You look like you're like a surfer who just fucks all day. But then he's like, check out my army I painted. It's in a barrel. And I'm like, what is going on here, Danny? Like, the year before, he painted up an entire Free Guild army in, like, detail. Like, Dan, you saw it. It was like every line of cloth was highlighted. I was
absurd.
Yeah, absurd. But then, if you... Oh, okay. I'll check that out. But yeah, like... great place, great people, great time. Hope to get to see them all again next year. It was the time also when the entire tournament software broke. Clunto was mad as shit, which was hilarious to see. Not like for him, but afterwards when he was like, whew, when it was all over. That was a fun time. And then events after that started to take a bit of a nosedive.
Why did that happen?
Well, because Nathan had won one, everyone was out. Everyone was like,
they were like, I can't compete with that. Yeah, fair enough.
Well, my flight back was actually indicative of it, because I travelled through Malaysia, and then we were all having to sign documents and wear masks on that trip back. So it had been kind of a bit of an issue. But then that was, on my trip back, it was like, oh, here we go, something's cracking off. And then March basically happened, and then it was the COVID. Really, and then
Coco Vovo.
Since then, James, did you do any events at the beginning of the year? Oh shit! There's one more. One more I haven't forgotten. Yeah, we went to Sheffield Slaughter.
Yeah. I did 2 events before this all happened.
Okay. Well, which 2 did you do? Tell us about.
Well, so I did Sheffield Slaughter.
Yeah.
And then I did the WS10 Best West Midlands team event.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Which was an invite-only West Midlands event.
And how did you find that?
It was great, and we won, so even better.
Who was in your team?
So it was me, with my Janky Slaves to Darkness list.
Good, perfect.
Miles Hewitt.
Yeah, really great guy. Love skating.
With some rats. Reese West.
Okay.
With some orcs. And James Boots. With an ogre gun line that actually hit better than it shot.
Nice. Okay, well that's how they all work.
Standard for them.
Yeah.
Even underguts. It's
better to charge. So how was the experience? Where was it? Tell us all about it.
It was at Borden Brum, which is kind of it's where the WS10 club nights are. If anyone's ever been to one. and it moved last year, this year. I can't remember when it moved. It was end of last year, like 2019.
End of the year, because
Yeah.
I did all the plastering and stuff.
That's it. There we go. So it moved then. So it was like the first big event they did at the new venue with the WS10. So it was there, and it was basically like an invite only. Teams from the West Midlands. So I think there was 2 WS10 teams, 2 Scribes teams. I think everyone else sent 1 team. I think, but it was great. It was super. I mean, it was one of Nick's and Stu's. So it was pretty laid back, with their kind of normal, like very WS10-esque kind of pack writing. But it was great. It was a great little event. It was great fun. You what? Sorry.
Was it in chalk or crayon? Is that the pack?
No, because Stu writes them now.
Oh, okay.
So it was
serious.
like typed, checked again. He didn't even write in Trog, which was sad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Opportunity there.
Very serious. He's very serious when he wants to be, isn't he?
Very serious, but what a great guy.
And it was also the first official event, I think. You'll tell me off now because I might be wrong. But I think it was the first WS10 event that was basically like Trog hosting.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm pretty sure that Nick, by the end of day 2, was still drunk and just like mumbled around while Trog did all the organisation.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, I mean, that's what he's good at.
Yeah. So yeah, it was great. It was a good little event. Had a great time. And because they haven't held any events for the rest of the year, it means I'm holding the WS10 title for the whole of 2020.
Oh, it's all yours.
Whoa, nice. It's all about that. Nathan, you actually a Brotherhood champ still for 2021, so congrats.
Thank you very much. I've held it for 2 years and won only 2 games, so that's great.
Also, I think it's always worth saying, because I think is one of the highlights of any WS10 event, and you will be very aware of because it's where the 2 Poppadom things started, I believe. Is every WS10 event ends in a curry house, but it's always the same curry house. So if anyone's ever been, and the curry house must know them. So they end up locking you in a room. So you end up in a room with just a bunch of nerds. And because it was a team event and people had come from all over the West Midlands, I think there was like 64 people in that little room.
Oh, what? Amazing.
And I walked in at one point. It's not actually that little. It fitted 64 people sat down. And like you just sit there and you're like, all it is noise. And if you listen, all it is people being like, I rolled a 6 then. Oh, that was a 1. And you're like, this is what someone sat next to me must feel like, because there's so much nerd. But it was great, yeah. So I did that one. That was great. And I did Sheffield Slaughter. That was great,
well, we'll talk about Sheffield Slaughter now. Although, Nathan, you are getting some shit in the chat of Hawkeye. He says your team actually only won based on alphabetical order, apparently. Your team, James was saying earlier, your team only actually drew.
Fine, I'll take that. That's the best way to win. Okay. With an aardvark.
With an aardvark. Get someone with an A on your team. Stop being fucking lazy. That's
Play with an aardvark in your pocket all the time. You're on to a winner.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to that, Speckles, because that's later on in the year. So then Sheffield Slaughter was an exciting time. It was exciting for the Honest Wargamer crew because streaming under the TSN, we got to do multi-table coverage for the first time. Mm-hmm. So we did 4 tables of coverage all at once. Or no, did we do 4 or 3? Might have been 3. But yeah, I think it was 3. And we smashed it. It was brilliant. We got to experience really loads of fun. We got to experience loads of cool things. Owen did some smashing infield reporting again. It was a cracking time. I had a great time. It was won by that man who wrote the article about eels being good. That fella there, Luke Morton. I think we invented the salmon cannon. I think I invented the salmon cannon actually at
Facehammer.
Yeah. Previously, but we got to see that in effect again. We got to see some great games between Mark, JJ. We got to see some fun stuff. We got to see. Was it Speckles who made the old Warhammer Master quit, or was it someone else? It might have been. I can't remember. That was funny. I think Speckles. Yeah, he did quit though. But Speckles did something hilarious. I can't remember what it was, or something got fucked up. Owen
I
was
did
great
watch
at Sheffield.
Speckles have a little cry when Nick Thompson rolled really well, brought some
That
Iron
was
Drakes
it.
on, and shat on what's his name? Bone Reaper Daddy.
Catacross, yeah.
Shut him off. Some Iron Drakes shut him off in 2 turns.
Yeah.
Double turned him, nailed him off
Good
the
on him.
board, didn't do a thing.
Weren't you playing at that one, James?
Yeah, I played at that one. Yeah.
I saw you and John from Bobo with about 1 billion Marauders and Pink Horrors between you. And it looked like the worst fight I've ever seen in my life.
Do you want to know the worst thing?
Please.
That John Green at that event, hope he listens back to this, stole my dice. And then it gets worse because I thought he threw it across the room, and I found out recently, because it rolled so well against him, he kept my dice and threw one of his own dice across the room, so I thought it had gone.
That's actually
wow.
that's a classic John Green move, actually.
Yeah.
He's fucking clever fella.
He is a
clutch
clever
move.
fella.
Yeah.
He did, however, lose with the chain shows too.
Yeah, he's not that clever.
Yeah, he's not. He's a clever fella, not good at Warhammer.
He's a sneaky git, but he can lose games. But the thing about being a sneaky git is you have to lose games and win the tournament. That's what he did wrong.
Also, Lee Bromley there again with his jelly shots. Thanks, Owen. Pars Scrap Launcher smashing it. That was fun. JP's Crawlers not only taking out the Master, then almost taking Nagash out in one turn was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
There was some fun happening on those tables. So ultimately, a great weekend. Again, AD and Pete smashed it.
It was AD's last one too, right? AD and Pete's last one, I think.
Yeah, but they're a bit like every band who are like, "This is our last album," and like we're
Never
out.
again. And then they're like, actually, we're touring again.
Yeah.
I hope so, because watching AD Mac on the stage is my favourite thing. He's just great.
He's great. He's really good. I really
He's
like the way he's like, none of you fuck about, but have a great time. Have a great time.
My only complaint for this year's Sheffield Slaughter was I didn't get to watch AD Mac and Pete shout at the woman that owns the venue.
Yeah, they'd organised it way more beforehand, but not that much more.
That's a great venue. Love that venue.
Yeah, big shout out to intern Matt. I was about to say that, who also worked the weekend with us. His very first time working at the on the stream with us, and he smashed it. He did some great work, which I thought was particularly baller. So well done to intern Matt, you little ledge. Nate, did you enjoy Sheffield?
Yeah, I did. Intern Matt was great at keeping me up to date as to what was going on, because I didn't have a fucking clue. So yeah, it was good. We should have one of those all the while.
What, an intern Matt? We're going to try and get him as much as we can, ultimately.
So.
Or could we not just make that the position? Like, make intern Matt the position. And then whoever does that role, they are intern Matt.
And they're just called Matt. They don't get their own name.
Yeah,
no, absolutely not.
Yeah, perfect. Well done. That's the role now.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, intern Matt. And also, Ben Sava, great analysis, doing some chin wagging with me, and we all had a great Wagamamas that night either. As well. Sorry, not neither. But it's a good time. Right. So Sheffield Slaughter, and then all the events that happened. I don't know if there were any other events. Not that I went to. I don't think, unless I'm losing my mind. Moving into March. Do you guys remember any?
That feels like it was a long time ago. I can't believe it was this year.
It's this
year.
I
don't think anything happened.
1,000 years.
Well, it was about mid-March, wasn't it? So wasn't there a bunch of events supposed to happen at the end of March, and then we all got locked in the house and watched TV?
Yeah, which is I guess time to start talking about some of the external events that occurred this year. So obviously Australia was on fire. Dan, we didn't talk about that much. It was a rough time for everyone. You got any thoughts on it?
Yeah, that was pretty awful. But if there's one thing that like a shit year often like brings out in people, it's how they band together afterwards. And I mean, all through that, it was heartbreaking being on the other side of the world while so many people were in a lot of trouble, especially a lot of my friends and family who lived out in the country. So that was awful to watch. But then seeing kind of the outpouring of love and support was amazing. One of my stories that I absolutely loved was that my hometown nearly went up in smoke. The little town that I'm from, and while it was being threatened, they were evacuating everyone, and there was a town a little bit to the north that was safe, and every other business had closed down, but the pub stayed open so that anyone who needed a beer could get a beer.
That seems very Australian,
right?
right?
I was like,
Quite right.
I was like quintessential Australian country pub, just being like, oh, well, bugger it. The fireys are doing a bit of hard work, and if they need a beer just to settle their nerves at the end of the day, they should be able to get one. All these people have been evacuated from their homes, and they're sleeping in a campsite. If they need to get a beer, they should be able to get one. And bugger it, it's a bit of a hard time for us as well. I'd like to have a beer whenever I need to have one. So I credit to them. That was I remember seeing that. I think I shared some photos about it. It was awesome to see. So yeah, that outpouring of support was for like the community, for the animals, for the country, for everyone that lost stuff. It was awesome to see.
Yeah, I think one of my favourite moments around that time, I think I've got my timing right, was of course Egg Boy. Yeah, letting people know that you can't stand up to a young man with an egg. Yeah, if you're a bit of a politician who's a tosspot, then you're gonna get fucking egged. Is what you're gonna get.
Pop an egg to the noggin.
Yeah, and he was maybe one of my highlights of 2020 because he was just like, I'm not fucking putting up with your shit. Here's an egg, son. I don't know if you remember Egg Boy. James,
I remember
Nathan?
Egg Boy.
No idea.
Yeah, I vaguely remember somebody was throwing eggs. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking, he just crushed an egg on someone and then like just smashed
Okay,
it.
I do remember.
Yeah, it was really great. It was a great time. And all hail Egg Boy, yes. Oh, big shout out to DJ Batman as well, who hung out with me when I was doing setup at CanCon for like 5 hours and brought me a Mackey's. So big love to you. He's an angel. Really, really like that fella a lot. Can't wait to see him again in some point in the future. So yeah, with everything locking down, all events got cancelled. Which doesn't. So for like Warhammer terms, there's not like loads really to like unpack there. But I guess the thing to unpack now, and I think this is true, might be a true statistic. I have no way of like proving it's true, but I reckon it probably is. More games of Warhammer have been played this year online for the first time ever than have been played in person.
Oh, 100%.
This has given rise to TTS and the Tabletop Simulator. So 2020 will be the rise of Tabletop Simulator, which at this point probably is never going away. It'll be a great opportunity for people to like play a game of Warhammer. Like you're like, oh, I want to collect an army. I'll give it a couple of runs out on TTS, see how I feel, then I'll put the money down.
Do we think
play games around the world as well? That's so cool.
Also true. Like Mamdare, like he was in the chat earlier, said, I played Budtastic Guy at Warhammer the other day. That was great fun. Yeah, the ability to play whoever you want from around the world is like, you know, like friends who you might not get the opportunity to play is amazing. So that's a good point.
Do we think, because I know previously, like I'm not a fan, like I've talked about it on the show, and I have nothing against Tabletop Simulator, but it doesn't push my hobby buttons because I guess realistically I don't play just to play.
Yeah.
So I play for the social side, so TTS does not push my hobby buttons. However, like I get it, and I think it's an amazing tool, and I've used it to play other games with friends online. However, I'm pretty sure in the past I know that Games Workshop have been quite militant on trying to get TTS to remove mods that use its models. And this year seem to have not done that, because I'm pretty sure I also saw playtesters tweet about using TTS to do playtesting.
Definitely true. They've definitely done that.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I'm not against it. I think it's great. But do we think that, so if we go back into a normal world where Games Workshop want you to go and buy those models to test that list to then have to sell them if you don't like that list, they will become more militant on TTS? Or do we think they will now just be like, we see that it fills a need, we just leave it?
I just don't see what they could do about it. The way it works and the whole way it's set up, it would be almost impossible. The minute they tried to take it down, it'd be back up in a heartbeat. So I think it's here to stay, which I think is a real positive for everyone in the world. It means people can practice more. It means I would never want TTS to replace real life events ever, and I think Warhammer works best in real life, obviously. But I think what it does really well is it gives you loads of tools before you go to an event. It gives you an opportunity to practice. Let's say you can't practice, like you want to get some practice games in for the event, which is something I espouse. I'm like, you should practice before you go to an event, sort of thing. yeah, play with your list. It gives you an opportunity to do that. Like if you want to practice putting down your army on different deployment maps, it gives you the opportunity to do that. You don't need to even be playing with anyone. You can just play with yourself. Classic 2020.
Tell me about it.
What are you saying, Meg's boyfriend?
Yeah, what you saying, Meg's boyfriend? Nothing, apparently.
Yeah.
No comment.
Nothing to add.
Yeah, it's a great tool, and I think like Games Workshop making their own version might be cool, but I think that they're going to run into some problems. Obviously, 3D sculpts, like a friend of the show the other day was printing out Marauders that were the sculpts from
Warhammer
War.
Online.
Yeah, Warhammer Online.
Oh,
and, like there's
not that one.
Total War. Total War. So there's like capping Andrew, and also being able to practice with good players. # coaching services, so people can do that as well. It gives people an opportunity to run through that process. So there's we can't knock it, and interestingly, I don't think a lot of people would have taken the leap had it not been for COVID.
I know loads of people that probably had never even heard of Tabletop Simulator that now are like, oh, I play every night.
Yeah, I think I know loads of Warhammer people who probably hadn't heard of a mouse and a keyboard before the COVID.
Make it clear, don't talk about him.
Fuck you, I played Total War. I used to play it before COVID. And then ever since COVID has come, I've not fucking played it.
So wait, Nathan, you're saying that you were into it before it was cool?
Yeah. Him and Jonathan, 2018, him and Jonathan were screaming at each other on Tabletop Simulator. Yeah, right? Trying to make stuff work and having a great time. So Nathan's the OG, in my opinion, when it comes to Tabletop Simulator. But then, obviously, so we also got Rise to TTS as well. TTS events, which we've seen around the world. Owen's been running loads of really professional ones recently with the Hammer Time events. Adam the Cock Mumford set up a whole bunch.
Those were some great. Those first ones when Adam Mumford was just drunk. They were great.
That arguably the best T. Owen we've seen to date.
Do you know what? I've raged on about that to everyone I know that played Warhammer. That point where the one game we were just these two people are rowing, and I listened to him go into a Discord channel and be like, "You both lose," and leave. And I was like, "Great." And I was like, "They might be mad." He was like, "Don't care. It was free. They've lost." Okay, brilliant.
Good talk. Good talk.
Correct. Can we just talk about Get to the Chopper correcting? Just come up with my favourite thing. Towing. T-O-in. I'm using that in the future. With left. Oh yeah, so Garrett with Left Coast Corsairs have been running monthly events over in America. There's been ones in England, there's been ones in Australia, there's been some done over leagues. There have been loads in France, league setups in France. There's been people playing all over the world on TTS. So it's good that vehicle's been available to us as a community, so I think positive. So I don't think there's much more to add to that unless anyone else has got anything.
No, I think it's wicked. There's very little to add. It's an awesome service. It's spectacular. And I don't the one thing I would say, and this is part of the reason, it's a very common argument, I guess, but part of the reason I hope that Games Workshop, after this is all over, they don't go after it, is that it doesn't make me buy less Warhammer. It actually makes me buy more because I get excited for it. I play an army that, I play a new build of Cities of Sigmar, and then I'll go out and pick up some models to make it happen, or that it got me excited for lots of different things with my Moor tribes. And I just think that it's actually a wonderful tool for selling. So I hope that there isn't a short-sighted panic that takes it away.
Can I actually? I think we should probably add something, and I don't know if this has been done at any point, and I don't know anyone that does it. So I'm not gaining anything from this, but I actually think we should probably have a bit of a show shout out. So firstly, for the fucking Tabletop Simulator game, which is what 15 quid and has tons of stuff on. But secondly, to all the people, no idea who they are, that have bothered to make every mission. Put the objective rings in. Put the models in.
Tyler Anderson, at least with the mission packs.
Okay.
As for the models, no idea.
Just nuts, right? So I just think if you huge shout out to that person who's basically let the entire nerdy Warhammer community of the world play a computer game that is designed to just have a board in front of you to play probably one of the more complex tabletop games in the world.
Yeah, true.
You guys haven't even seen the 40k setup. Holy shit. The 40k setup version of it is wild. Like, everything's pre-programmed. You can just, press some stuff. The 40k version of it is like they've automated as much as possible other than putting your models down and moving stuff around. It's crazy. Also, just a little side note, I don't. If any of you have played TTS, there's a little box basically where you can put your dice. So if you've got 37 dice, you just press 10 3 times and a 5 and a 2, and you end up with 37 dice. You stick them in the roller, and it's like these are the 3s. You take the 1s and 2s away. It's brilliant. Not sure how I'm going to feel going back to rolling regular dice. I'm excited about doing it. But any
having to do it
dice,
yourself.
Yeah, over 10 regular dice, I'm probably out. I'm probably
rolling dice is the best bit.
Yeah, but not 70.
I played with 140 Marauders.
No, it's not okay. Nathan, what do you think?
Makes you a bad person.
I'm still looking forward to picking up square things and throwing them around.
I'm with Nathan. Me and Nathan are going to play real Warhammer. You two can sit on laptops looking at each other.
I mean, I do that anyway. You
can just get a dice app, right? Do you think?
No, actually, if you'd watch the Games Workshop, no, not Games Workshop. If you watch the Wargaming App of the Year Awards show, you'll realise that in memorandum is the Assault Dice app no longer available to us.
Oh, forget Games Workshop ones. I think there's still unofficial ones, right?
Yeah, but then
would you trust them?
Yeah.
I mean, would you? You don't want to roll dice, apparently, you two.
No, I want
to roll dice.
I'm not saying I don't want to roll dice. I'm just saying that I've seen the more efficient side, and now it's like I've I don't know. I've had a curry with some naan bread, and now you're telling me I can't have it with naan bread. And
you gotta have rice now, Dan.
Yeah, I'm like,
you can't even have rice. It's like someone gave me a curry with a spoon. Yeah, I was like, this is so efficient. It's so easy. Now they're giving me a curry with a colander. It's just all slipping through.
I'd pay to watch that.
Or just trying to eat it with a spoonful of holes.
Yeah.
Rolling dice isn't like eating curry with a colander. It's like rolling dice.
Rolling
dice. Rolling dice. It's like picking up square things and throwing them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I have to count all the square things, and then I have to count all when the numbers arrive. I have a problem.
When you eat curry with a colander, you don't have to count anything. It's not the same thing. It's a terrible analogy.
Isn't it ironic, Nath? That's what I say.
It's a terrible analogy. That's what I'm saying. Like all analogies, it sucks dick.
Oh my god, my favourite moment ever. Nathan Hammered at CanCon 2019 came in. It's like, analogies are like a ladder you put up a wall or something. They use an analogy to tell me how bad analogies were. Anyway. But the point is, dice rolling. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so I think that's TTS covered. That's good. So then the rise of TTS events, which we still have ongoing, and it's probably the way we'll function in the future. Obviously, there's been events over in Australia now and New Zealand. Big love to those guys. There was a cool. I felt my heart broke actually a few months ago. All the guys over in New Zealand, they just had a singles event and they were smashing it. Then they're about to have their big national team event, and then some fucking villager in the north or something ended up getting the Coco Vovo. And that was it. It was done. Like Jacinda was like, straight to lockdown, everyone. Put a bag over your head. No one's allowed out for 18 weeks. But they've kicked it again, obviously. But they were literally days away from a big team event, which is super sad. Aussie got locked down. Those guys got locked down for 150 days or something, didn't they? Insane.
It was a toughie.
Which brings us to, in real life terms, the free time period. Do you remember the free time period?
Yeah.
So we all had national lockdowns, and then all the governments are like, oh, maybe a couple of you can come out for a couple of days. And we were like, sweet. And different countries did it in different ways. America, they said go outside and lick each other up and down. In England, we got given money to go buy food, which was interesting, at half price. So, which was fun.
Yeah, we got non-realistic money, didn't we, to go and eat places and get some paid for.
Yeah, We got all of our food in restaurants was half price down.
What? That's amazing.
It is until it spreads more virus, and then it's not so good.
Oh, yeah, no, good point. Good point. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So that was a thing, and different countries had different stuff in that situation. But then, so we ended up with some free time. So people got to go to some events. Nathan Prescott, I think you got to go to an event.
Yeah, I went to a little event at Black Dragon Miniatures in Hinckley. It was a little one-day event. We played in pools.
Fucking,
it was great. It was like
to keep the models afloat.
Fucking speedos and game on, man. Roll those fucking square things.
That's
Have
a great
time.
idea. I hope someone does that next year.
Was it in a bubble? You meant you were in? No, what were you in?
We were in pools.
Pools.
So pools. So you were in little groups of 3 or 4, and then you just played everybody in that little group, and then they just checked how well you did at thrashing everybody else in your little bubble. And then decided who was the big boss after that. So, yeah.
And you were the big boss, is that correct?
Well, yeah, I like playing in a pool, so it was great.
James, you held Garden Hammer, am I right?
I did, yeah. In my garden. Couldn't go play Warhammer anywhere. Nowhere could hold an event. So I was super sensible. Read all the rules. Worked out how many people I could have in my garden. Measured how many tables I could fit for 2 meters apart. And then held some Warhammer in my garden. So, yeah, it was great. Big thanks to Nick Thompson, who provided every table. And board, I think. And yeah, we did some Warhammer in my garden, which was great fun. It was hilarious because I live in England and the weather's like hit and miss every day of the week. So I don't think I've ever watched the weather so intently in my life. Like if I'm going on holiday, I'm like, I'm just going to go. I'll deal with the weather when I get there. I think I looked at the weather for the day, every day for 2 weeks. And hilariously, it was like 24 degrees, heat wave, 3 people got sunburn. Nerds aren't supposed to be outside. But it was great. It was great fun. I didn't play. I just walked around. Enjoyed the company of some people I hadn't seen in absolutely ages. If he's in chat still, Speckles will want everyone to know he won.
Well done.
I will point out he won an event where someone did bring Clanesh in, but other than that,
so you're saying it wasn't a particularly tough meta?
It was very tough meta. Very tough meta. Someone did bring Clanesh in.
Okay.
To which I was like, I have not seen these models in 10 years. But that was great. It was great. And I think like the one thing I would take away from that is that ignoring the fact that obviously on a normal year, there's probably less need for that. I'll definitely do it again.
Okay, that's great.
Because it was just funny. It was just funny to have a load of people that I love in my garden rolling dice. And I just sat there. Drank cider and had a laugh. I basically did the Adam Mumford rules bossing where I just drank some cider, occasionally walked round.
And told 2 people they lost.
Well, sadly,
even though they played each other.
Sadly, I didn't get to be bossy because everyone I invited was lovely. So I don't think there was one disagreement.
Better luck next time, James.
Yeah, I'll have to invite someone more nasty next time, probably.
Yeah, invite some dickheads and you'll be fine.
Yeah. That way you can. I mean, what's the point of doing it unless you get to throw someone out of your garden?
True.
And then you should have a bouncer next time as well.
Yeah. K-Dread Wes said, as seen James, where's his invite? Like, where was mine?
You had one.
Oh, but K-Dread
you were
did.
busy.
Oh, perfect. I gave you a perfect out there, but you didn't take it. Hello, or forgive. Welcome to the show.
Hello, or forgive.
Yeah. Which with things opening up, so over that time I've been working on the Super Series.
Woo, baby.
Which I've been working on for a few years, which is fun. So we put all the Super Series stuff out. We organised the teams. We got the packs ready. We put that out in the world. So that was a fun time. Me and Budtastic made some kick-ass videos. He did all the audio for me, which I really enjoyed. So big shout out to him. And at the same, and then so that was fun. And then Nathan, you and me like smashed up the venue,
Yeah.
which was great. It was fun. Remember that? That was a fun time, or not fun time? It was fun. Pretty fun.
Yeah. It's always great to hit things with your hammer.
We did. Well, you did,
Yeah.
and I just. My favourite bit was when you made me take all the glass off the front of the bar, and then you just smashed the bar off. And I was like, well, I could have not done that, but that's fine.
Health and safety, that was.
Health and safety. So that was super fun. And then Fish built all the tables. Big shout out to Fish for doing
We
that.
found a piano in the bar. That was fun.
Didn't we find like 4 pianos?
Yeah.
It was
A
fun.
piano?
That was under the second bar.
Third bar? It was a third bar.
Whatever. There were loads of bars. One of them was a piano.
So where the
There you
commentary booth is now, it's a stud wall that Nathan built. I think that's what you call it. And I've learned so
As
many
in, like,
things.
just a wall of attractive
It's just me
gentlemen?
4 times.
No. Actually,
Like
a
it's
stud
like,
wall... A stud
Or is
wall is
that where you-
actually... Go on.
You tie up attractive gentlemen to use for stud, like to,
Just
breed? Like, what's the purpose of it?
It's actually just a wall built by a stud. That's why we had to wait for Nathan to build it.
Of course, that makes complete sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids.
So that was fun because I learned a load there. Fish helped me out. I learned loads of things. I know what an Irish screwdriver is now, which is super useful. I know how
I
to
don't feel like it is, but okay.
and learn how to level things. I know how to sand stuff. Like so many learned experiences for me. And then Fish built all the tables. So that was super fun. And then we launched everything online, which seemed to go quite well, I think. Apart from one dickhead, but like there's always going to be one dickhead in the world, isn't there?
It's a pleasure.
It wasn't you.
No. I'll try harder next time.
Oh, it was awesome to watch as well. I got so excited watching it. It was like, thrilling.
Well, yeah, it's a bit of a shame. So then, obviously, like we launched the first one, we did the first one. Big shout out, James. You came and did commentary with me. We sweated in this little box together for a while. That was fun. A big intern Matt was here. Nikos helped with the coverage. John.
Who was intern Matt at that event? Like who was the role of
Matt?
intern Matt?
It was intern Matt, yeah, actually.
Oh, the original, because he is Legion. He is intern Matt.
Yeah.
When you cut off his head, 2 more take his place.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll try that.
To become the new intern Matt, you have to kill the current intern Matt.
Yeah, it's like being a Sith.
Yeah.
Or Highlander.
Yeah.
There can only be one.
One of the big shout outs as well has to go to both the 4 people that built all the cool terrain. So Dark Fantastic Mills for building, sending us some terrain. Anthony for printing us some terrain from America. Benjamin Sava, Studio Westwood for producing some amazing terrain. And Wallace for also producing some other amazing terrain as well. Big shout out also to Speckles, who road tripped with me down to London to go pick it up, to have my only trip out of like Nottingham over that period, where I went down there and we had a lemon tart at Owen Jackson's house, which was so fancy, and a green tea or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was.
I feel like Owen must be quite fancy. I feel like he probably only eats lemon tart.
And babkas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then unfortunately Lockdown 2 occurred. So we only ran the 1 Super Series, so big shout out to the Bruces versus the Troll Slayers. We got to see some great games played, I thought, at least.
Yeah, it was great fun. It was a great fun day.
The format seemed to work. People seemed to like it. Nathan, I think even you cared.
Yeah, it was exciting. Cool. Yes, it was. It looked very exciting, and it's a great pity that we didn't get to see the others. We did the pairings, the band thing for the other guys, but then we didn't get to see them bash each other, so that was sad.
That was sad, and I think with the time spent now, but like I got to see the Marauders the week after, which was super fun. I got to see all those guys, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing those guys again in the future. Looking forward to rocking on with the Super Series. So hopefully, going to keep all the teams in place. Pretty certain we're going to keep all the teams in place, and then just I still feel that we can get it in, finish this one off before Age of Sigmar 3. That's kind of my hope, which will be the summer. So. I'm still banking on that. So that was super fun.
If any teams drop out, does Dan have to be that team?
Dan, who?
The whole team.
It's Dan. Whole team. 4 tables at once.
Done.
4 table Dan.
The Dan's Gambit.
I've watched the Queen's Gambit. I got this. I have no idea what I'm doing, but that's fine.
She didn't have a beard either, so you're fine.
There you go.
It's been a whole hour since we took a shot at that.
Yeah.
Yep. Good. Thank God we got back around to it.
So event-wise, that catches us up with absolutely everything that happened event-wise.
Yep.
So then I'm going to take us through the battle tomes that were released this year, and then maybe take us through external events and some stuff that happened in the wide world. So battle tomes we had were KO. The immediate reaction to KO wasn't particularly confident. I got to tell you, I didn't really have a dog in this race. I'm not too bothered, but a lot of people out there are not very comfortable with the KO battle tome. However, Nathan Prescott very keen on that KO battle tome.
That was a very long show.
Nathan, do you remember the KO battle tome? Like, what were your thoughts when it happened?
Yeah, it was good. I really liked the triumphs thing and everything. I thought it was a bit more interesting than the previous one. It made ships viable. So, yeah, and in fact, make the ships really viable. Made them more, more of a competitive army, but quite a unique way of playing as well. Very mobile for a dwarf. I mean, the dwarf army, probably one of the most mobile armies in the game. So,
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, so yeah, that came out, which was definitely a thing. And then, so I think that was the reaction. And then afterwards, obviously, the GHB in the middle of the summer ended up dropping everything in the points. Now they're the terror of the skies. So that's kind of the KO sort of floatiness. Then we had Tzeentch drop. The general reaction was, why is the chain show still a thing, and why is it this strong, and why is it this bent? And everyone went, no, it's not. And then Jimmy the Hand went and took it away, and Tzeentch pretty much smashed it for a good long while, which was pretty scary. Dan, you got any thoughts on the Tzeentch drop?
Yeah, I actually quite liked a lot of the stuff in the book except for the way that horrors came out and the amount of horror summoning that existed for pink horrors specifically. And then, yeah, and Change Host. I think that other than that, the book actually was pretty awesome. But those didn't tickle me in a happy place, unfortunately.
That's fair.
Yeah, didn't they manage to play a Heat or something at Warhammer World?
They
with
did.
That Tzeentch book?
Too.
Yeah, and it was horrible for some people and fabulous for the people that had the Tzeentch suckers. Like, there were loads of them all over the place.
There were loads of them. They had a great time, didn't they? Oh, Dave Fraser, thanks for donating £5.69 to get Nathan some hair implants. Appreciate that loads.
On my back. Jeez.
I think that's what let me just make sure he didn't leave a note with it. He didn't, so there you go, that's why. So yeah, Tzeentch book, it got immediately FAQ'd on the Change Host, not immediately, and then the Destiny Dice got FAQ'd, so that's good. Then the Seraphon book came out, much to everyone's joy. Probably one of my favourite Battletome review shows to date. It was pretty fun. James, do you remember that? Nath?
There were some great pointy sticks in there.
Great.
Yeah, them skinks are horrible little fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, they play very fast and loose with the old keyword.
Yeah, they do.
Stuff, don't they? They're fucking keyword sluts, I think we said. So yeah, that's what they are.
Whereas the Gits book is like keyword Mormons.
Yeah. Wrong way around. But yeah, it's the right way around if you want to have fun.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. So the Seraphon came up, and then it was at that point, like, we knew the game was basically over, which was fun. Then there was Wrath of the Everchosen that came out, which was, we got some Legion of Chaos Ascendant stuff, which was super cool.
That was before, wasn't it? Wasn't that before Seraphon?
Could have been before, James. You're right.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, but we had those guys. That was a good time. You guys,
it was cool. It was interesting. It was a really cool book for both the new stuff and creative stuff, and also like the story side of things as well, and like lists and story and everything. It was a cool book. I dug on it. hard.
Tugging it hard. Yeah, agreed. I think everyone was fairly au fait with. Thank you very much, War Machine. Appreciate you loads. Apart from, so that's what happened then, and then other battle tomes. So that was a good one, I thought. Then we got the longest release ever with the Lumineth.
Yep.
Just
really had to drag that one out, drag us over the coals.
Yeah, it took a while. I mean, it came out in the box, didn't it? But like, is it released as a book yet? It must be.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it took a very long time.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did take a while.
And it's only half of them.
Yeah, you're right, Nathan. It's only half of the dudes. So that was a Lumineth book. Everyone pretty excited about that. Techless. I would think I was fairly measured on how I felt Techless was going to be in the game. So I said that I thought some people might take Portal with it. That was kind of a guess on my part. Turns out that was that was a guess that went well for me. So I wasn't certain that was going to be the case, but turns out I cracked it. So it was a tough puzzle to crack, to be honest.
Took a lot of very intense thought and research.
Yeah, like I'm that guy, with like.
It was a shot in the dark, man.
It was.
Admit it. Yeah.
You're right. I'll admit it now. I just guessed. But turns out it worked out right.
You fucking had a big box of endless spells. You threw it into the corner, and just put your hand in blind and pulled out a portal.
And I was like, maybe this magic guy will use this. Couldn't have written it.
And it was like magic.
Maybe, yeah.
It was like magic.
I'm pretty sure they just modeled onto his base now as well, which is good. Just cut out the middleman, so you've got what you need at all times.
At least you could hide.
Do you remember the original community article when describing the Twin Stones and no one on the fucking earth knew what the fuck they did?
Yep.
That was my favorite.
Does anyone know now?
No, +1 to cast to everyone all the time.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, it is the long and short of it.
Regenerating +1 to cast.
Yeah, forever until time ends. And then we had the Gargant's book. Met with much aplomb. Everyone very happy about that. Very excited.
Super stoked. Lugnuts
stoked.
to mad. Very all caps, and I don't even know how many exclamation marks that is in the chat.
Sorry. Thank you, everyone in the chat. It's actually it's natively +2 to cast to everyone all the time. Thanks.
Excellent.
Appreciate that. So that's useful. So then we had the Gargants, and everyone was super happy about that book. I called it as being fine, which was useful, and it was. So no one needs bat an eyelid at that review at all. That's the way it works. Another shot in the dark. It turned out that way. Lugnuts says it is the best book. He's got 6 megas and 14 man crushers, which is
seems like a big army.
Seems like a lot of man crushers.
He had a lot of those pre-book as well. He had a lot of those before the book came out. All lovingly, individually, uniquely converted too. It's absurd.
Well, that's great, and I'm glad someone thoroughly loved the book, which is sweet. You've actually probably got more Gargants than actual rules in the fucking book. But then, to be fair, COVID was out, and they probably only had half an afternoon and a jam sandwich to run on to write that book with. So that's fine. And then we got the Marathi book. Marathi, with all of the new special rules, and we got Yeetwing, and we got updated sharks and turtles, which you can't really argue with that, right? And a great story. Both, I gotta say, for the 2 kind of campaign books we've had this year, Wrath of the Everchosen and Marathi, excellent story progression inside the stories, right?
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So but we didn't have quite as many battle tomes as we had last year. So fairly low on the battle tome frontage in volume. So I would expect next year is going to be our year when we get 40k'd. So everyone starts saving now, because you're going to have to buy about 14 campaign books and 1 billion codexes.
And nothing digitally.
Huh?
And nothing digital.
Nothing digital. Well, no, not till the summer.
It's back to 1999.
No, it's true. And also, Captain Andrew, no, I was about to round off on that. We also had, as always, the GHB 2020, where we had some core rules changes, which seemed quite positive, I thought. Do you guys got any notes on the the GHB?
Some of the scenarios were great. I
Mhm.
think most of them. Yeah.
Lots of rules tightening that was really awesome too. Like no multiple DPR saves, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was great. Loved it. Really cool.
Okay. Yeah, it was good. Like, apart from, like, agreed, like everyone has said in the chat, some mission changes. We did hear about an event that happened last week in Australia, actually, on the Stats Centre show earlier. I'll have you know. Someone that came third, his Gargant army played in focal points. And the description was, he thinks no one's ever pissed that many victory points in focal points ever. Which, don't forget, is +1 victory point for each monster near an objective. And the Mega Gargant army is literally just printing points.
And then,
go on.
and it's also focal points, right? So he can just yeet all of those objectives together.
Yeah, no, well, it doesn't really matter. But, I mean, he could as well.
To be able to, like, his Gargant can just kick one objective to the other objective, then walk and hold both, and then have another one kick it to it, so he's just constantly kicking objectives to himself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely a thing. So that was all of the battle tomes over the year. And then we've just got big standout moments of things that happened through the year, like gossip points, I guess, and other stuff. And it would be remiss if we didn't mention the Rona. No, not that. But we will get back to that in a minute. I'll never financially recover from this. That's what I'm going to say.
That just seems like a lifetime ago, right?
It does. It does. But that was a blinder. Nathan, have you yet watched Tiger King?
No.
Oh, what?
Well, I mean, the documentary's about him, isn't it? He lived it. I don't think he needs to watch it.
Nathan, are you Joe Exotic?
No.
I wish he was. Can we get him on the show?
Joe Exotic, probably cameo him from jail. That'd be great. Nathan, you need to watch it, please.
No, I don't. I tried to watch the first one and gave up, and that was it. I'm not watching it.
Why? What did you like about it?
Just sucks dick.
Well, that's a really good description. That happens a lot
Actually,
in the show.
Quite apt, yeah.
Quite apt, yeah.
Fair enough.
Core GM, a proud owner of the Ogre King t-shirt. We also got Ogre King t-shirts made, which was great.
Good for you.
Yeah. What did you Sorry, you were going to say something, Nath?
No. Not going to say nothing about it because I didn't watch it.
You need to. It takes, like Gimme saying in the chat, it takes a couple of episodes. Dan, come on, you watched it. What do you think?
I thought it was absurd. Every moment that I thought it couldn't get more absurd, it got more absurd. And I loved it. I was there for it. I thought it was great. And I thought that it had the most memeable, quotable line that's ever been put to TV for War Dolly players ever, which is, I'll never financially recover from this. Every time there's a release that's like, oh, Gargants are coming out. I'm never financially recovering from this. Oh, we're releasing a new box set. You only need, there's one new model in it, but I know that you want it. And I just look at it. I'm like, yep, there we go. Cooked, done. I'm done. And yeah, that was spectacular.
It's flawless. James?
It was just, I think it, the world went insane, didn't it? We got locked down, and I think lockdown 1, everyone just got locked in their house. Everyone followed the rules. No one went anywhere. You went out once a day, and if you walked on the road, there was no cars. And I just think it was crazy. The world was insane, and Tiger King came out, and it was like someone at Netflix planned the whole thing, because you put it on and you were like, this shouldn't happen. This show's nuts. This is crazy. And then you'd look out the window and go, no, this is 2020.
This is the year. This is how it is.
I think one of my favourite bits about Tiger King, Nathan, because Nathan, you might think it's only about Joe Exotic, but there was an entire episode about a guy that had a tiger-based sex cult, which was pretending to be a zoo or whatever it was, and it was insane. He was insane. They were all mental. The guy that Scarface was based on was in it. Yeah, at one point. There was so many things happening. Someone lost an arm. I had a great time. Can't imagine that bitch. So yeah, And I love that because while everything was going to shit, it was some inane rubbish that I think the whole world could jive off at the same time.
We could feed on. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was great
Nathan
for the world.
at that point was just looking for plaster, to be fair.
Yeah, there was no fucking plaster. That's right, gypsum fucking closed. Plaster cost whatever you wanted to put, whatever you had, and some of the stuff you didn't have. And that was it. It was sucked a dick. It was terrible.
This is
Couldn't
actual
make it.
real life plaster, right?
Yeah. Trying to find multi-finish was like impossible.
The world
there you
over.
go. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you both now, James. Oh no, Dan, I'll start with you if it's okay. So 2020 Corona for everyone in the world, and Twitch chat, feel free to put your thoughts in there. Like, it's been a long road. Like, you got any like highs and lows? You got anything you want to like talk about? Anything like you want to say about the journey? Because it's been like what happened at the start. How are you feeling? Like, where are you at now? You know, any of that.
Well, look, if I'm completely honest with my Coco Vovo journey, and I don't know, this maybe it doesn't have a crazy heavy amount to do with hobby, but I found myself waxing and waning through hobby, and I've realized hugely that a big part of my love of Warhammer and War Dollies is all the people I get to see and play and hang out and paint and build, and I love going to events and stores and all of that jazz. So it definitely took a little bit of a hit. But if there's been one good thing that for me that came out of all of this, it's that I had to do a lot of bending over backwards and jumping through hoops to potentially get residency on this side of the world so that I can live between Australia and continental North America. And the Rona gave me the opportunity just to hunker down and be like, look, there's nothing else to do but submit paperwork and get your application hours in. And you know what? Bless you, Rona. If there's one thing you did for me, it's you've potentially made me Canada's problem now. And that's good. I'm very excited to get my Chrissy presents in because now I feel like I can expand my horizons and get back to doing things. I'm very excited. I've been waiting for some inspiration to strike with how to paint up my Cities of Sigmar army. Like, that's kind of like I build an army when I get excited to build it or convert it or whatever, and then I wait until I've got an idea with how to paint it. And after playing Cyberpunk 2077 for so long, I'm going to go with like a neon versus dark grungy vibe for them. So I need to learn how to paint neon. Never done that before. But yeah, I'm excited for where we go now. It feels like this year I was a caterpillar in a chrysalis, and now I get to be a beautiful moth or butterfly, depending on how bright this army ends up. So I'm going to be, some people very disappointed. COVID, the worst thing it did was was force Canada to have me. But yeah, that was kind of my experience of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good one. James, what about you?
I think for me, like so in that middle period, I managed to sneak a couple of games in with Miles, and I think like one of the biggest things for me was that it made me, I'm going to try and stick on hobby, and it made me really kind of appreciate that actually I like 100% play hobby for people.
Yeah,
like 100%. Like, I think like in the past I've been like, oh, like I like going to events because I like playing Warhammer, but I also like to write a list and try and win and blah blah blah. And I think this year, like, I don't want to ever play an army that's so uncompetitive I just might as well not play and someone's going to table me in one turn.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it really made me appreciate the people that I would normally see at an event, the people that I would normally have a curry with, some of the people that I've never even played, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I realized like this year, probably being on here a lot more, there's a load of people that like I'll talk to in depth in the chat on here, or I talk to in depth with on Twitter. And I'm like, I've never even played this person. And some people, sometimes I'm like, I haven't even met this person. And yet like I'll have like a whole long-winded conversation with them. So I think it's probably one of the reasons I'm sat painting a bell instead of painting my Lumineth, because I think I just was like, right, I'm going to take a year. I'm going to let that Lumineth book chill, and I'm going to just play something stupid next year, so I can spend an entire year like catching up with the people I haven't seen with, like seen, been with, chatted for an entire year. But then I also think it probably has made me appreciate the community more. Like, like I think as nerds we get bad press just because we're nerds. And I think like actually when you look at the community internally and externally, like ignoring the Twitter wars, it's great. Like it's a great thing to be part of, and I'm really proud to be a part of it, show included. So I think that's probably the majority of my year, really, is that it's just made me appreciate who we are and what we do more. Secondly, this
We've
year,
been really sorry. I want to hear it, but I just want to touch on that point a minute. I think one of the great things about what we do for a hobby is that we've had the community to lean back on. Like it's not like the world has ended and we haven't had a community. Like we still ignoring like not as many events or anything like that. We still have had a community to fall back on, which is still interesting. Like I don't know how I would have handled this 10 years ago when I wasn't into Warhammer. Maybe I'd have just got deep into an MMO for like fuck knows how long or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, or I'd have played a shit ton of computer games, or I don't know, like, or I'd be buff.
I like the fact everyone laughed at that one.
Yeah. Everyone was like, we took all the others very seriously. Like, I can see him doing that. I can see him doing that. I can see him doing that. Not in a million years.
Yeah, so I think that would be super good. I think it's super good for everyone that like they're in this hobby, or if you've just joined the hobby recently, or like whatever it might be over the past like few months, like or nearly a year now. I think James brings up a really good point. That actually being able to fall back on the hobby and the community has been like a savior for all of us. I think it's it has for me at least.
No, absolutely. Like I spent the like lockdown one. I spent the entire time locked in a house using a laptop downstairs and a PC upstairs, and that was the only connection I had to anyone for whatever. I can't even remember how long was lockdown one. Like 5 months, 4 months. It was a long time.
Yeah.
So big shout out to anyone that chatted to me, spoke to me, blah 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 blah. A huge shout out to Nick Thompson who made me paint a 40k army just because it kept me busy. So there was that, and then I think my second thing of lockdown is I also learned that if all the people that I've just talked about commended and said how much I love, what I've also learned is if they ever piss me off, I know where they all live. Because I've learned tons about geography, countries and cities. Yeah. And I now know the postal system inside out. Know the postman. We talk every day. I see him most days. At one point, he made me the depot for the whole street.
Nice.
I had people's parcels for like 6 doors down. Never met them. Just didn't lock the door, throw the parcel on the step. But just nuts. Like I think I don't know how many parcels I've sent out. Like it hit what, like over 1,000 quite a while ago, and it never seems to stop.
Do you want to let everyone know what that is in relation to, just in case they aren't aware?
Yeah. So,
Jeez,
God, what, a year and a bit ago,
yeah,
we made some objective rings. They're like some plastic objective rings that go on the board that measure the distance from an objective, so you always know if you're capturing it. It was a bit of a pet project that spiraled out of control to like epic proportions. We've just sold more than I know what to deal with, and I think I don't know if I ever talked about that on stream either, but like I also think this year was a hilarious point, because when I first started shipping them, like that first batch, we did a pre-order batch before we could actually afford NA, and we sold them all off. And there was just this hilarious point where like every single one I shipped, I was like, know this person, know this person, know this person, know this person. And then like as it went on, I shipped them to people that I know from like in the chat but don't actually know. and that was quite interesting. And then finally, somewhere like lockdown 2, it reached a point where we're just a shop, and people would send me aggressive emails that are like, I ordered this 2 days ago, why hasn't it shipped? I'm like, I'm just one person sat in a room, and you need to watch the show because I can't explain that to everyone that orders these on email.
Like, I will address, like, everyone that sends you an email, you should just reply with, I will address it on Monday's show.
Yeah.
I
Like,
should,
be
right?
in the chat. Yeah.
You
There
should
was just
also
a point-
put. You should also put. Have you seen the show? You need to calm the fuck down. Yeah, you're lucky
Yeah.
at getting
There was
anything.
a point where someone sent me the most aggressive email I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever in my life. I think it had the word, the C bomb in it about 4 times.
Whoa.
And I was like, this is like I opened it and I in bed. Like I'd opened it in bed. It had come overnight. He wasn't from the UK. And I opened it overnight and I read this email and I was like, I almost replied and just was like, fuck you, buddy. And I'm pretty sure I wrote it. And I was just like, the professionalism in me of sending out this shit all over the world won't
Missed
allow me to do
opportunity.
it. So I was
Missed
very
opportunity.
English. I went downstairs, I made a cup of tea, and I sent him the nicest email back. He then sent me another really aggressive email demanding that. So one of the things that people always debate is, and sorry, this is probably boring, but the postage cost to anywhere else in the world other than the UK is quite high. And so this guy was like, I want them tomorrow. This is what I paid for shipping. They should be here tomorrow. I'm fucking disgusted. This is a fucking, like, on off it went. So I was like, I don't know how to respond to this. So I went onto the Raw Mail website, got
Did
the
you
shipping.
message me and I said tell him to fuck off.
Yeah, and then I was sensible. So I went on the Raw Mail website. I found the shipping that I'd already paid for. I screenshotted how much we'd paid to ship it to him. I then went back onto the website to say they haven't turned up. We'll send you out some more. This is how much it cost me to send them normally. He was demanding them next day. So I also went on a parcel website, found the £100 shipping it was going to cost, and I was like, this is how much it is for you to have them tomorrow. We're not paying it. If you want them tomorrow, send me that. You can have them tomorrow.
Okay.
It was really nice then.
Yeah.
Took 4 emails.
Very good. You did it, James.
Just needed education.
You just needed an education, exactly. It's needed love. Well, that's good. That's nice. It's been fun watching the merch go out. It's been fun watching all the different T-shirts that people have loved and the water bottles and all that other thing. That's been fun. James should be applauded for sending stuff, but he also has been quietly collecting all of your addresses because
I know where everyone lives.
Because Robin James's 2021 plan is where
Hilariously.
we're all gonna sticky bandit you guys. Yeah, we all know now where you live. Yeah, and we're gonna come and nick your Warhammer. Let's go, James.
That's
I
on
do
the
have
road.
one awful story that
Yeah.
links to merch.
Okay.
That I don't think I've ever told. I don't think I've even told you, Rob. So we'll do this on stream.
Let me
Is
tell
it-
how.
is
Let
it
me
your
just say thank Hail Hydra for donating £5 to the show. So it's finally not on call. He was on call over Christmas. 100% agree with the comments about the community. You, Trapped in Plastic, and Vince V have helped me keep saying God bless. Hail Hydra, thanks for working on the front line. You guys are great. Go on, James. Tell us another tale from the merch shop.
Is it just his woe at not providing undergarments yet and knowing from the waist down I am very chilly?
No,
Yeah.
it's worse.
Oh my gosh,
Well,
it's worse than me being completely exposed from the waist down.
I think so.
didn't know that
So-
such a
Sorry.
thing existed.
And
So-
from the chin up.
So as the orders came in quite early on,
Well done. Well done. Yep. Just like straight down the middle wicket there. Good stuff.
as the orders came in quite early on, like I thought I knew most of the people ordering them because most of them were like people that watch the show, friends of people that watch the show. Quite often people leave like little comments in the note box. So one came, I think it was for Objective Rings, might have been for something else, who knows, from John Green.
Lovely man.
And I was like, John Green, Bobo, stole my dice at Sheffield Slaughter last time I
Yep.
saw him. And so I wrote a note. Put it in his envelope.
Yeah.
Basically told him he was a prick, that I
Yeah.
still wanted my dice,
Good.
and that I'd put a hole in one of his objective rings and he had to find which one it was, blah, 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 blah.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh no.
did the label.
Yep.
And did John, the Zinch prick, Green.
Yeah.
Thought his mailman will love that. Wasn't that John Green? Don't know what John Green it was.
Oh, wow.
Made another John Green that takes all the abuse, and that's the good John.
There is a good John Green in the world.
Did you
Might be him.
did you
That's
follow
amazing.
up? Did you send an email to whoever made that?
No, too embarrassed. Just left it. I thought.
Jesus
Well, I thought
Christ.
he's brought all 8. He'll never need to buy any again. So fuck it.
Wow. Jesus.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know.
It's great.
That's-
So,
Yeah.
some 12-year-old kid somewhere like, I can't wait to get into Warhammer. I've been watching those guys on the T-Spots. I'm going to get an objective. And then he's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, I really like my zine.
You should have signed it, John Scrivo.
Yeah, we
Could
should
have
have.
got away with it.
I think one of my highlights of 2020, just speaking about merch a minute, is constantly claiming to be responsible for any of the merch. It's been my favourite bit. Every time people have clapped, like someone's tweeted, like, "Hey, just got these. Thanks, at 6 Dice Skills." I'm like, no problem, baby. Yeah, easy peasy.
My favourite is when it's in the notes for the shop as well, and it's someone that's just like, "Thanks, Rob," and every one of them, I want to put a note in that's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. So talking about that, we also got copycatted. Our objective markers got copycatted, so that was fun. That's fun. So we've inspired an industry. Well done, James. Nathan, what about you over COVID 2020? Like during the lockdown and the Ronas. I know you've been working loads, but like, what else?
Yeah, so work was a bit more harder because you had to fucking try and find plaster, so that was nice. Yeah, I had to lock down in a different house to the one that I was living in, so that was all right. I got to practice some of my other hobbies.
What are they, Nate? What hobbies are they?
What hobbies are they? Oh, that's so great.
Why do you think I have to blank out the fucking background? Anyway,
Oh, I hope there's a kid watching.
I hope there's not. Jesus Christ.
that kid can't see anything with that thing on its head. Anyway, so yeah, I did miss playing hobby with playing the Warhammer thing with people and throwing square things around a lot. Obviously, like everybody else. So yeah, just hoping that happens again as soon as possible.
Good. Good.
That's me.
Did you learn anything over the lockdown? Do you think?
Hang on, can we just state? Did
Did
you
I
learn
learn
anything you can
anything?
talk
Well,
about
like,
on
is there
stream?
anything about like,
Because we know you did some classes.
like, did it
Yeah.
did it make you like appreciate anything more, value anything more? I know I'm asking about your feelings place, and you don't like going there.
Yeah, I know I've got a beard, so I don't know.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, can't feel anything. So yeah.
What about hobby, Nate? Did you keep on top of that, or did it get demotivated?
Yeah, I've managed to paint some more Migets. I've painted loads of squigs, finished some trogs. So
Painted some Stormcast.
yeah, I painted some Stormcast. They're not finished because I got distracted by these fucking zombies. But yeah, I'll go back to finish them. I've finished the Palador Riders and the Knight Zephyrus. So yeah, and a pretty cool model. So I've still got them to do. Obviously, I got the big fella to paint now, so I'm looking forward to that. That's a great model. And some more Dispossessed because I've got a beard.
You do. You do have a beard.
Did you,
And fuck everyone who
Nathan,
doesn't.
Nathan?
Yeah.
Just out of question, so 2020,
Yeah.
that was the year you didn't betray Dispossessed like Dan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like
Just checking.
every year. Yeah.
If anyone got any questions for Nath, because I know him too personally.
Keep
to
them
ask
to
him,
yourself, thank you.
Don't forget, please don't forget it's his birthday on the 1st of January. Make sure you.
No, I was never
Birthday
born.
week.
They didn't know when it was, so they just said the first day of the year, so you can fuck off. I'm not
It's
doing
the first
nothing.
day of January is his birthday. Hello, Brian Spurlow. I jumped on late. Did your review the digital platform game workshop? No problem. Pile of shit. Easy peasy. I think we've reviewed it on shows before, but we're only doing the Age of Sigmar review. Obviously, 40k review to come, which will be a hoot. So that's Rona. I've done lots of things over the Rona period. I've moved house. I've DIY'd Windows, which has been great. I've done the stream streak, which has been a blessing to me. Like hanging out with you guys every lunch has been wonderful. Then I've got to do cool new shows like 40k Jason show and the Stat show. I got to meet loads of amazing people online. So like Mike does Blood Bowl. Like so many cool people who've been on the show. Like for different stream streaks for just like brilliant stuff like Smorgon PowerPoint presentations, more Darren List diaries. Obviously they were great. I've got to interview awesome people. So it's been like I've done nearly 300 shows this year just for the stream streak alone, which is pretty fun. Which is why it's really cute when I see someone be like, episode podcast 11. I'm like, you lazy fucks.
But it's also that I've noticed a lot of people in the chat when we were talking about our 2020s, Rob, who was saying that your stream streak and having a steady show every day has been an awesome part of it.
Well, that's what it was set up for. But like, it also has become like a crucial. I didn't think it would last this long. Like ultimately, or I didn't go into it thinking it was that. And then it's been just as helpful for me. So it's symbiotic. Like it gives me something every day. It's put me in a great place. Also, I've got to explore loads of really amazing ideas as well. Like we got like really crunchy into stats one day, and then me and Ziggy went wild on it. And we got to do some like funky, like, which was stuff that we did for the Super Series, which was super fun. Like we got like crazy into like talking about 3D designs at one point, and terrain, and now that's led to like printers and all sorts of other stuff, which I'm pretty like. It's been fun, and I've been able to like connect with everyone online a lot more, which has been super fun. And I'm gonna miss it, like ultimately. So I've said next year, like I'm not gonna stop it. I'm just gonna do it like Monday through to Friday, and that's like after we obviously have to hit 369. But it's been fun, like really fun. So I've enjoyed that as much as everyone's enjoyed it. I hope so. It's been great for me. What else has happened? Tide King, Rona, the American election, Stop the Count. That was super fun.
I finished that election story, by the way.
Oh yeah,
remember the rats one? They all died. Every single fucker died. The ones that were voting, the ones that they were voting for, everybody. They all died.
Everybody died.
Yeah, everybody's dead. There
Good story though.
Yeah, great story. Sorry, spoilers for those that didn't know.
Also, someone brought it up in chat, so I think I should highlight it.
Yeah.
2020 was also the year that I read lewd stories on the internet.
More to
come.
Yes.
More to come.
More to come. Big shout out to Cold Shoulder for that. That was obviously brilliant. And anyone in the Twitch chat. I would like at this point to take the opportunity to say anyone on YouTube, if you want to leave any comments for your highlights for 2020 in the chat below, and if anyone wants to bring theirs up. So we can't. There's some other stuff that happened as well. Like this is a bit of an awkward one, but like the Black Lives Matter thing occurred, which led to like a pretty like important moment, I think, in the hobby this year. Like while we were all disconnected, there was the ability to say, "Hey, maybe let's not be racist in the hobby." Some people did not like to hear that, and obviously, like we're super pro that. So that was an important moment, I think, from Games Workshop to put something out. You know, which I thought was cool.
Huge credit. That was a great statement.
Yeah, great statement. Yeah,
and I also think that if there is anyone out there who plays Warhammer who has any form of interest in having less people playing War Dollies with us or building or painting for whatever reason, unless it's like, oh, blah, blah always tries to stab me every time we sit down to play a game of Warhammer, I'm like, sure, maybe we don't want that person in the hobby. But largely, my attitude has always been like, from whether you're just starting out, whether you don't like what I like, but if you're doing War Dollies, if you're playing Warhammer, that's the goal, right? Is to have more people enjoying what we enjoy so that they can get out of it, hopefully, something that we do. So anything that reduces the amount or tries to make that more exclusive, I just think that's a bloody waste of time.
Agreed.
I think there's probably a lot of dwarf players that don't want Dan to play anymore, though.
Yeah, but that's a whole different kettle of fish. It's a whole different kettle of fish. But yeah, that was exciting. It was fun watching the community like it was fun watching the community eat itself apart, but mainly because it was fun watching all the cunts be really triggered and then eventually get like fucking told off, which was my favourite bit. That was my favourite bit. Someone being like, what about all? Like, no, fuck you. fuck you particularly. So I had to mention that. I was like, should I mention that? I was like, yeah, fuck it, mention that again, just one time. The whole hobby's for everyone. It's super fun. Apart from, no, everyone's welcome now. I think pretty much everyone, not racists. And that was what else happened. I think that's everything. To be honest, that's everything that happened. It was a lot. There was a lot going on. I mean, there's lots happening on the 40k side. There was like the app, which didn't work, which was hilarious. There was the launch of 40k. There was that going on in the hobby as well. There was Diachasm. Can't forget the launch of Diachasm. There was new Warcry stuff, so that was super cool if you're into that. Like I know you are, James.
Big fan.
Big fan. So yeah, loads and loads of stuff going off.
It was the year that you made your own faction in Chaos Dwarves.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You've been patting her out with that for ages. Fucking thing.
Listen, Chaos Dwarf's definitely 100% going to be a real faction coming soon. You guys are fucked. Like, when that becomes a real faction,
we're just going to call it the Rob Symes faction.
It's just going to become the the honest fucking Chaos Dwarf show. Is what it's going to be every Monday.
It's going to be all on his own.
Yeah. So, have you guys got a favourite show that we did this year? One of my favourites was when we did the Anvil of Apotheosis.
That was a fun show.
That was a fun
show.
show.
We had to draw pictures.
Yeah,
we had to draw pictures, and we found out Nathan's good at art.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And the Love Rat was born.
The Love Rat was born. Yeah.
Yep. That was probably going to be up there for mine as well. I think maybe let's go. I'm just going to go with the coverage of the coverage of the Super Series, and in particular the bands. I know that's the T Sports Network and not really a show that we did, but
it's us. It's us. It's just I call it the T Sport, so it's more acceptable for folk. That's all.
But the thing is, like, even then the shows we did afterwards talking about it, because that for me it was some really awesome, fun kind of war dollies, like where you're tacticking and trying to shut down other people's tactics. So I'm going to go with that. That really, it got me juicy. It got my war dolly juices flowing. And all I wanted to do coming out of that was play war dollies. And that was it was honestly coming out of the band shows and the T-Sports coverage was the hardest part of Corona, because every time I watched it, I was like, I just want to roll dice. So that was probably, I'm going to go with those were my tippity tops.
Oh, thanks, man. In the chat, Owen said Seraphon review. Dan, the great Kaim Khan, he likes the Gargants review. The Spiders review, I think we also did a great job. We're hitting our stride now with how to review things. So, yeah, that was a big fan of that. I like the Seraphon review. Nathan's reactions were brilliant to how cheap skinks were. James, you got a favourite, do you think?
Well, I think I've got two, and one's cheating. So I'm going to go. My first one has to be the KO review. And I know that wasn't Corona, and we did sit in a room. But, like, I remember, like, I think that was the last time I came down to the studio to do a show. I remember getting there, because Nathan was always late. And
exactly on time, like a wizard.
That's true. And we got there, and you were like, "This shouldn't be that long a show. I don't think there's a lot in this book. Like, there's not that many war scrolls. It shouldn't take that long." And we then sat there for like 4 hours. I think that show's like 4 hours. Well, Nathan read every line, and then you'd be like, "That's not very good," and he'd go, "No, it is good." And he'd read the whole thing again to prove his point. Like, wouldn't tell you why, just read the whole thing again till you thought it was good. And like by the end, so we sat in the studio, and by the end, like I can see Rob just being like, "I'm just going to agree." Like it's 11, it's 1 a.m. Like we're still here. I'm just going to agree. Like and those old shows, like I then would drive home. It's like 45 minutes. I remember driving home thinking, I've got work like at 8 the next morning. I remember driving home, and all I could hear in my head was Nathan going, "And this hits on threes." It's no ends.
Reroll ones.
This artifact lets you reroll once.
Yeah. So that would probably be my highlight of show. However, then I think like Corona-wise, probably all of them, because actually like this is the one consistent thing in my life for the last 9 months.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
every Monday I've sat here for a random amount of time for basically a year. And it's been consistently good. It's been consistently good for me and my health. Hopefully it's been consistently good for like everyone in the chat. Yeah.
Good. Well, that's lovely. Thanks for that, James. Nathan, you got any favourites this year?
Oh, I'm going to agree with that hairless fella over there. They, the band phases were super exciting. I was a bit dubious about the band thing, but
Were you actually? You
once
never said that.
No, yeah, I keep my cards to my chest, I do, and so.
Thanks for saying you believed in me even when you didn't, though. I really appreciate you. Thanks. That's good energy.
Yeah. I'm a very restrained fellow, and so
I thought it was the other people who were in the restraints.
And then and.
Let him make a point. It's the first one he's made all day. Let him do one. Go on, Dave. You've got this.
Yeah, no, but then when I saw it happening and in action, I was like, fuck me, this is great. Look at that. There's no catapults. Life is good. So, I'm in. That was great. I'm just, obviously super gutted that we didn't get to see the effects of it as of yet. But, and all the all the chatter and stuff that was happening off of the back of it, people talking about it, talking about how shit everybody else was at it, how good they were at doing it, and all of that sort of stuff was great. And I can't wait for it to unfold and for us all to see just how shit they all at it. So yeah.
Well, I can't wait for it to be consistent. I can't wait for us to do it very regularly, get them in the bag, get more Super Series done, get more teams. So there's like an exciting future for the Super Series stuff at least, which is fun. And I got to say I've appreciated you three this year. Thank you very much. Like being able to do this show with you on a Monday. But that's true for all the co-hosts. Monday's been super fun. Thursday's super fun. Anyone who regularly comes on the show is super fun to do these with. So appreciate you. And then like MJ Pegasus is saying in the chat, like it's been a great year all year for support for the show. Like we managed to get like headsets, we managed to get like better internet, we managed to get 3D printers. Like it's been a great year for the show. I feel like we've also I
haven't finished mine yet.
Sorry, Nate.
Yeah, fucking hell. No, the other thing I'd like to say is the your Arena of Sunlight, the T-Sports Arena, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It was cool to see your vision there and what you wanted, and and to help out with that where I could, and to watch the big goldfish at work, fucking building tables out of little bits of wood and stuff, and just finding pretty impressive. He's a good chap, and your Arena of Starlight and Sunlight and whatever it is looking
Is it
great.
a Seraphon Arena?
Yeah, I think so. There's some beers.
It's on top of a ziggurat, isn't it?
Made
Got
a
them
fucking
beers as well, haven't we?
little out of matchboxes and stuff. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Well, thanks, Nate. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
like,
so
it was a wild. It was a wild idea, shot in the dark, like that Techless combo. But I think it's going to pan out. I think people like when we can get it all kicking off after post-COVID. I'm so excited. That's my hope for 2021. So many events here. Like I'm tempted to just run events every weekend. Like just fucking as many as I can get. Just get people in, playing Warhammer, hanging out. It's just going to work super well. Very keen for that. So that's going to be such an exciting time.
Well, obviously, I was lucky enough to get a couple of games in with you during the slutty summer where we could meet each other.
Yeah,
and I can't wait for us all to be able to be slutty again and play some more games there and do things and those little enclosure things that you made me build. So yeah.
Basically, you cheat, James. None of this, like Adam Mumford, you both lose. Straight in the fucking cage is what you get. Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine like Warhammer cage matches? How great would that be? Just they're in a cage, everybody else is just around them, like throwing
People are
beer
throwing
cups.
chairs.
Yeah, exactly. Be awesome.
See you later, Trump Hammer. Loads of love. Merry Christmas. Yeah, great sluts all round. That's what we're going to be. Slutty summers all forever. Okay, so I think that's been the year in review, which has been lovely. I'd like to get, if you do have any thoughts of stuff that you've loved, please do shout out the Twitch chat and anyone listens to the podcast and anyone on, anyone supports us on Patreon. Literally, we couldn't have done any of this without you, so you're all brilliant. Thank you very much. Have you guys got any hope for 2021? Battletomes? Any quick fire thoughts? Dan, you got any quick fire, like something you'd like to see next year?
Well, it's actually something I'm going to be doing that I'm kind of excited to. It just kind of came to me because I realized I have all of these like little plastic containers, right? Mm-hmm. And I love converting. And I was like, look, we're probably looking for that. We're still a little ways off before the Coco Vovo business is all kicked off. So what I thought in the new year, what I'm going to do is I'll put something up on Twitter and just get a bunch of people all over the world. And we have a little conversion challenge. And I'll send everyone out a little pot of bits. They have to use all of the bits in converting one model, and we'll have a Discord something, and like we'll all chat and convert. And I just thought it'd be a cool way to get a bunch of people kind of together for a bit of fun competition. So so that's what I think I'm excited to do that. I'm just excited because seeing other people's conversions and having challenging conversions myself is my favorite thing at the moment. And so, yeah, I was like, how can we just get a bunch of people together to do this? Because we can't really get a crew. So yeah, that's I'm excited for that. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Have you got any Battletomes you want to see come out?
Or if I was to see one, I'd actually love, and it'll probably get it through the Broken Realm stuff. I just want to see more cities. Like I want to see a city from Shaiish. I want to see a city from different realms. Basically, that's what I want to see. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's a good one. I'm really rooting for that. James, what about you? 2021, Battletome, armies. What do you want?
I don't think I want anything actually. I think for me almost I'd quite like to play the game in the state it's currently in because I feel like we've lost a whole year of playing all the stuff that's currently in. I'd like to see more netters. I'd like to see a netter Battletome, and it can be anyone from any faction, but they have to have a
with
net.
a net, and they -1 to hit and can still somehow attack you with the net.
Yeah, fishermen, like bear trappers with nets. Anyone with a net. That's what I'd like.
United. Yeah, okay, I'm into that.
And I also think so. The only other thing I'd like from 2021, so we're going to see if this can happen because he's in the channel, is I would like my first game against Nathan, but I want him to use grots and netters. So I can just be there and he can be like, -1 to hit now.
Yeah. I'm in.
So that every time it happens in the show, I could have that anger that comes on Rob's face.
It's fine for me. What are you, Nath? Any new books next year? Do you think you'd like some allegiance abilities for the Gits, or they're all right?
No. Allegiance abilities is cheating, so fuck that. No, I'm obviously also super interested in what the Broken Realms bring us. I think we might see some interesting things with like the mixed destruction, maybe. The last story with Godrak with his big skull battering ram, releasing some mega gargants and some underguts and saying, "Oh, you lads, stop fucking about in the mountain. Let's go and take out that city over there." So I see a city going down. One of the cities is going to take a bit of a battering, and I want to see what we get from this big war of Godrak. Godrak.
That'd be cool.
So that'll be cool. Also, there seems to be a bit of infighting in the elves. So I mean, I'm not sad. The little slimy bastards can stab each other.
Don't upset Dan. The last show of the year.
You can see he's been stabbed in the face. All his hair's fallen out. So, Yeah. No, it's good. I also want to see what happens. Yeah, with the dispossessed, they've been hinted at like a dispossessed, and all the other lads having a gathering together. All the other stunties. And having like a stunty alliance, so that'll be cool. Let's get some more of that.
Yes.
Do you think it'll be short-lived?
Oh, I hate you. That was too easy, and I hate you for it.
Don't hold a grudge down, Jesus.
You can't. He's not a dwarf.
Go on, sorry, Dave. Sorry, please continue.
That's what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, just getting out there, meeting people on a flat table and throwing square things. So let's do it. Pushing little fellas around.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm into that a lot as well. Yeah, same. Battletome wise, I wouldn't mind seeing a new Sylvaneth Battletome or the Broken Realm stuff help Sylvaneth out because they're one of my big loves and have been for a long time. Dan, new cities is always good with me. I think that's a great model range. I think some of it's not particularly good. I mean, obviously, we'd all like to see the fucking winter FAQ. Jesus, they say winter is coming, but not fast. Yeah, 7-year summers they had in Westeros. Feels like that right now. I'm not too bothered. I'm excited about the vampires. Very excited about the vampires just because I want my classic vampires, not my vampires. I talked about that a little bit before. Other than that, I'm just excited for the story to move on in Age of Sigmar. I think it's cool. I think it's really good. For me, I think I'm excited about building the terrain over the next couple of months. That's my big excitement. Talked about this a lot on the show. I really like the concept of building settings. I'm really into that at the minute, and I think one of the things I'm doing at the minute is I keep watching like lore videos while I'm building stuff and painting stuff at the minute, hoping to generate some ideas for me for like cool like designs for tables and stuff. But ultimately, I'm just so excited about hosting events, streaming events. And doing that, like the idea that we could hold like because we've always done coverage, we've had to go somewhere, we've had to do stuff, but now just having a bunch of people in the venue, have some tournaments, do some coverage, can't think of anything more fun. So, but we'll get there when we get there. It's not going to happen now. So yeah,
it's a bit of a step away, but I think all that it's going to happen is there's going to be, think about the armies right at events, and you saw the same person playing the same army every single time. I'm really excited because a lot of the people I know, we've had all this time to build and paint new armies. I'm super keen to come out and have brand new and see people with their brand new gorgeous stuff that I've never played before. I reckon that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, it's a good shout. It's a really good shout.
I don't feel like Dan's built, finished, and painted an army because he's built Lumineth all year, and every time he's like, "I'll show you when they're done."
Yeah,
that's it.
I got a whole Skaven army now.
Is it finished?
Not quite.
Yeah.
Got a whole Custody army. Want to play 40k?
Okay, all right. I got a Skaven army too. We'll have to have a Skaven off. See who's the biggest rat. That's all I'll have to do. Who's the love rat? Yeah, deal.
All right, make that model.
Convert the love rat too.
Oh my god, I'm never converting the love rat. I could print him though. Right, so it's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, doing Age of Sigmar Mondays with you this year. These three gentlemen are legends. You guys in the chat are brilliant. Please do join us next year, 2021, the year of Slutty Warhammer, which is what Nate said. Yeah, just looking forward to doing more reviews. So this is going to be super fun. You guys are great. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year. Nathan, you got any shout-outs before we go?
Well, yeah, I'm not slut shaming. Being a slut is a good thing, so keep it up.
Agreed. Yeah. You're a slut hammer. James?
Big shout out to everyone that's joined us at any point for the year. There's been a lot of these. I've done some dailies. I did some Christmas. Big shout out to everyone that's joined us, everyone that's been this, the other two co-hosts that sit alongside me, and I think biggest shout out to you, Rob. Because you've put it all together.
Hey, listen.
You're like a linchpin.
I'm the world's worst. I'm the world's worst chef, but then I've also got the world's worst ingredients. So.
Do you know what you are? Let me finish. Do you know what you are?
Yeah.
You are the tack in this carpet.
I am.
Because I watched you tack all them carpets down for about a week of mowing. So you're our head carpet tack.
Listen, that was I did a great job on that.
I told you, analogies are shit.
There, that was a bad one as well. Not as bad as the curry, but that was a bad one. Dan, you got any shout outs before we go?
Yeah, I just to anyone who has been putting their hobby up on like sharing hobby and things like that. It's awesome. And to all the unique stuff that people have done, like we spoke about it last week, I think, like Ash McEwen with his cell shaded Gargant, all the people
So
with different, because every time I see them, I'm like something like that. I'm like, ooh, and then I'll build or I'll paint something along those lines. I've definitely been a hobby butterfly this year, but all of the people that do that, that's given me life, and it's really made things so awesome. So to anyone that, I'm going to say my shout outs to anyone that tried something new in their war dollies this year. Thank you for inspiring me to do some new things too, because that was really fun.
Okay, I'm going to shout out anyone that managed to do absolutely fucking nothing, because life's been real shit this year and hard. And the best you were able to do was watch that Tiger King. You fucking did great, kid. You did fucking great, and I'm proud of you. Yeah, you've done great. Yeah, you've done so well. Right, so everyone look after yourselves, stay healthy, stay well, love each other as much as you can. Slutty Warhammer 2021, let's go. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.